say this is why MetaShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives. And MetaShare is proven you can save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Over 1 million Americans are now part of healthcare sharing, and MetaShare is the gold standard. It's trusted. It works. It's been helping people save money and have peace of mind now for 30 plus years. It's not some big impersonal thing either. It's a community of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Did you buy the puts, Squirrel? I told you to buy the $80 puts. Now it closed at 89. You would have already made a fortune. Not to mention the Dow Jones brand new all-time record. You're not listening to these moron Democrats who love to wallow in their own failure, taxation, and corruption, are you? Well, we don't listen to that bull dung here. We're winning in spite of Democrats who are stealing our money. We'll discuss that and so much more after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. A partly sunny high of 86 later today. Iranian state media has released what it says is a draft of a peace deal between Iran and the United States. Fox's Jackie Heinrich is at the White House.
Now, there are a number of points in here that appear to be very out of step with a lot of the U.S. red lines. But Iran is claiming that the Memorandum of Understanding would have the U.S. withdraw forces and lift the naval blockade in exchange for Iran restoring commercial traffic through the Strait of Hormuz within a month, with all ship traffic managed by Iran. They further claim if a deal is reached, it would become binding with a UN Security Council resolution.
President Trump congratulating Ken Paxton, who won the Texas Republican primary Tuesday for U.S. Senate, beating incumbent John Cornyn. A heavy police presence reported in Oak Forest today. An FBI spokesperson says the agency is engaged in court-authorized law enforcement activity in the area. The U.S. Men's World Cup roster has been announced. One Chicago tie, goalkeeper Chris Brady. The news, a service of the AM 560 store, T-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands like Proft University and the Shaun Thompson Show, 560theanswer.com/store. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
A choppy trading session with stocks ending higher in the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 all notching record closes as investors await Middle East peace progress and while the AI rally took a pause. In the meantime, the price of oil fell with West Texas Intermediate crude at around $89 a barrel for a 6-week low. Shares of airlines and cruise operators rose as oil prices retreat. The Magnificent Seven big cap tech stocks were mostly higher, led by Tesla and Amazon. Apple stock rose nearly 1% for a record close. Among the 11 S&P 500 sectors, energy, financials, and tech lagged while consumer discretionary gained. The Dow winners, Procter & Gamble, Home Depot, and Boeing. The Dow decliners, JP Morgan Chase, Travelers, and Chevron. The Dow rising 183 points, the NASDAQ higher by 19, S&P 500 up a point. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Mike Gallagher exposes yet another double standard.
This just amazes me that yesterday's mosque shooting was immediately concluded to be a hate crime. And it very likely was. Just like the way these Christian school shootings were hate crimes. And yet when those happened, the legacy media said, oh, we're not really sure.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
So many people are living every day with pain that they just think they're stuck with it. It is what it is, but it doesn't have to be. I want to tell you about a letter I got from Oregon, a guy named George, and his Relief Factor story. George, hardworking guy, spends 10 hours a day on a garbage truck. Tough job, made even tougher because he's dealing with a sore right knee that just wouldn't bend. But here's the amazing part. George started taking Relief Factor, and it changed his life. And he said in his letter to me, and I quote, I can bend my knee again with very little pain. I can relate to George. There was a time when I wondered if I could continue working because My pain was so bad. If you're living with aches and pains, see how Relief Factor, a daily drug-free supplement, can help you feel and live better every day. Give their 3-week quick start a try, $19.95. A few weeks, even days, you'll feel the difference that Relief Factor can make in your life. You don't have to be stuck living with the pain. Visit ReliefFactor.com, ReliefFactor.com, 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800-4-RELIEF.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-976-8822. That's 800-976-8822. 800-976-8822.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Eastbound I-94 right near US 20. There is an accident in the right lane. Eastbound 80 at Hobart, an accident also blocking the right lane. On the outbound Edens, 15 minutes. Montrose to Lake Cook Road, Kennedy 38. Jameburn Interchange to O'Hare, tighten the express. Kimball to the Edens. And the outbound side of the Stevenson, 50 minutes out to 355. You're stuck there from the Rhine out to Central, but you can blame road work on that one. The Dan Ryan downtown to 95th at 28 minutes. Stop and go in the Express 35th to Marquette. Heavy along DuSable Lakeshore Drive and the Tri-State either way, as well as southbound 355 Jane Addams. Not bad. This report is a service of the AM 560 Advantage. Membership has its privileges, including early access to event tickets, exclusive contest opportunities, and special members-only content. Join today at 560theanswer.com/join. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a steady breeze and a low of 55. Tomorrow, Thursday, will bring mostly sunny conditions with a pleasant breezy feel and temperatures not as warm, reaching a high of 72. Thursday night will be clear to partly cloudy with a low of 52. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag.
Another $200 billion in PPP fraud. Now we now know that the vast majority of all of the PPP fraud was steered by Democrats, enriching specifically Democrats. So when they find the new thieves, not the old one, like the one simpleton at the ghetto hospital Loretta, one scumbag, $300 million. Are you out of your fracking mind? Start to put the party affiliation and how they vote. And this is the campaign. If you want to live low in a ghetto, if you want to justify your own corruption and failure in the name of stealing from people who had nothing to do with it, congratulations, you're a Democrat. That's the party. They are the party of the wretched, the thief, and the fraud.
We prevent the vast majority of these from ever taking place. You know, there is an effort in city council to hold these social media apparatuses accountable. I believe that we should continue to explore that, and I'm going to continue.
What? Yeah, talk real fast. Here's a bum couldn't pay for his own family's water bill, now wearing a $6,500 Brioni suit. And you're going to sue Facebook because your CPS low-rent, low-living ghetto snipe have torn up a city and brought it into a third world, and you're going to sue Facebook. Is that right, stupid? This is how they justify. And this is how they think. And when I say they, let me explain. Very specifically, anybody in the year 2026, low character enough, low living enough, or just crooked enough to vote Democrat. I'm talking to you, scumbags, each and every one of you.
We prevent the vast majority of these from ever taking place. You know, there is an effort in city council to hold these social media apparatuses accountable. I believe that we should continue to explore that. And I'm going to.
Whatever you do, hold everybody accountable except the very scumbag that took a thriving metropolitan city of business and commerce and success and turned it into now. You hope that low-income lowlifes take up the vacant spaces in office buildings. And it's the same no matter where they inhabit. So much so that at least the New York scumbag who lived with his mother and father before he became the mayor, trust fund baby who stole YouTube, at least this scumbag admits what he is, just a thief.
Through our new citywide campaign, Fix the City, we will focus on the worst landlords in New York City. When necessary, we will take aggressive legal action to remove negligent owners and property managers. And for buildings that have suffered chronic neglect, we will work to transfer ownership to responsible stewards.
So you're going to steal the property and break the covenant of America and government with citizen. See, there's a bundle of rights. But this socialist, Marxist, global intifada asset scumbag vows to steal the property of anyone who isn't in his Fourth Reich. And that's really what it is. And when it comes to bad landlords, the worst landlord in the country is New York City itself.
It was known as Copa. They renamed it. And let's also go over.
By the way, this is my kind of lady, Squirrel. You hear? I love her. She's got the parliament breath. I absolutely love her. Spewing, making it raspy. And if she says it's time to go to the mattresses, even the guys in New York get nervous. This is my kind of lady right here.
It was known as Copa. They renamed it. And let's also go over something else. We have city-owned properties called NYCHA. They are the worst landlords that the city could ever ask for. But the most detrimental thing is they want to take this and fund this all through non-for-profits. Once the non-for-profits take over these buildings, this is multi-billion-dollar stuff we're talking about. We're talking about the New York City buildings. I mean, can you imagine? This is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
Unless, honey, unless you're part of this scum mafia government, then you're licking your chops, baby. Then you understand it works. Who's going to argue with you? Who's going to say anything? This is communism, fascism, Nazism, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it what it is. These are thieves in power they should never have, in offices that they probably stole the election, like Joe Biden. These are the scum among us. Unfortunately, they happen to be politicians. And if you think it's different in Illinois, here's how the scam goes in Illinois. They've been robbing from every municipality for years. And nobody talks about it except for this handsome devil. The one decent, maybe six decent elected officials in Illinois. What's his name there? McLaughlin. He's a stout fella with a funny name, but he knows right from wrong.
Right now, the state legislature is shorting mayors, municipalities, and local communities by roughly 40% of LGDF revenues. That total amount is about $1.3 billion. This money is collected on behalf of these towns with the understanding and agreement it'll be returned to them.
You don't ever take the word of a moron, lowlife person who admits to being a Democrat. They're telling you they're going to steal the money. It's what they do.
That it hasn't been for over 15 years. That means less money for police, less money for fire, roads, and infrastructure.
And the exact example you get when you put Democrats in charge of anything. If you want to live in a ghetto, then you're a Democrat. If you like the mafia, stealing money, hoping you can get some PPP money and free welfare cheese and other guts on ghoul you don't deserve, you're a Democrat. And don't worry, every once in a while they'll call you out, but they don't really mean it. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah, well, look, again, these unauthorized gatherings, as we have...
Wildings, savagery, insanity, and a ghetto pageant. This is what society pays $33,000 a head for. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Indicated multiple times that they can be dangerous, and in this case, we saw the manifestation of that danger. As I understand that there.
Squirrel, if we're lucky, he'll try and say particular. I love it. Particular. I love it. This is manifestation of reality of a bunch of guts on ghoul. And what happens when you hire a fracking Democrat to do anything? If you've got one that you employ and you're the boss, fire that son of a gun. He's probably stealing from you.
Individuals that were hanging out after 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. We need our parents to know where their children are.
Have you watched the news? It doesn't seem to matter. There are no repercussions. In fact, I believe you lowlifes are celebrating that only one person was dead, but you say none was dead. I heard on the news. Nobody died. Very successful. 39 shot. You know how many Americans were shot in Iran, Squirrel, this weekend? None.
Right. And as much as we're creating opportunity for individuals, the accountability mechanism cannot just be with teenagers, right? I know where my son was at 3 o'clock in the morning. After he went to prom, he came home.
Was it 30 coppers that accompanied him in the date, or was it 35? 150 Democrats with badges driving him around, the kid around, like Ed Burke, waiting for the Viagra to kick in to go by the side broad's house 7 days a week. And that's what you get. And that's how they build the infrastructure of mafia. And the good news is they've really gotten away with it. When you think about the idea of what we face and how successful this party was in not just stealing an election in 2020, but pretending that goofball moron who had soiled his trousers in front of the world on at least 175 occasions gets away with it even when he admits he's a traitor.
Former President Joe Biden is suing the Justice Department. He's trying to block the release of audio and transcripts from interviews for his memoir that were later used in the classified documents investigation. The recordings come from former special counsel Robert Hur's probe, which found Biden disclosed classified materials, but Hur ultimately recommended no charges.
He recommended no charges, Squirrel, and that's where they like to stop. But he recommended no charges because while he was there interviewing him, he heard a sound that sounded like Swalwell was in the other room. And then he smelled the stink, and he realized he was talking to a dementia patient.
And Joan Shingang, I'm going to pronounce it, Shanga Kawawa.
How you going to try the guy? He's waiting for rice pudding. He can't even decide. Cinnamon, no cinnamon. And he got away with the most obvious election theft in this country's history.
For Biden? There was not a Trump vote in there. They all vote, and you do not have a place in any state. Maybe Dixville's Notch, where there were 5 voters at the first thing, and they all 5 voted.
I'm sorry, did he say Dixville's Notch? I believe that was Kamala Harris's sorority name.
For Biden, maybe there, but not when you have something of 138,000. You don't all break that way, and it still shouldn't be linear because you have so many counters that are counting across the way that they're all tallying and reporting, and you don't bunch them in and report one thing. So that doesn't look right for the process. It certainly does not look right for the fact that there is no place of 138,000 where you don't have both candidates represented. I mean, even the bluest city.
And by the way, not only do they steal your money, they steal other Democrats' money. They claim they misappropriate funds. They have judges and prosecutors. What in the frack is anyone thinking, putting them in charge of elections? Do you think it's going to come out any different than it did in Saddam Hussein's elections? Of course not. And when it comes to the real America, outside of these Democrat dungholes, we celebrate the fact that Dow Jones is at a record again. Not only that, businesses are opening in free states. You can't get, in some cases, retail spaces to lease. And when it comes to what real Americans think of Donald Trump, well, it's a lot different than the moron, low-life scumbags who pretend to be Republicans in Democrat states.
I think there's this myth that's going on right now that, oh, Trump is really losing support among Republicans. But compared to other midterm cycles, he's just as popular with Republicans as he has ever been at this point in midterm cycles. Right now, nationally, we're talking about an approval rating on average of 84%. In 2022, his popularity rating was 76%, actually lower, right, when he wasn't in the presidency. In 2018, the last time he was president, 85%. That 85 looks a whole heck of a lot like this 84% right here. The bottom line.
And you would never have that with Jeb Bush, another scumbag Republican. You wouldn't have it with anybody else because now, for the first time since George Washington, we at least have a president with the balls to identify what the problems are and act on it.
I'm going to read you exactly what he posted. He said, quote, any document signed by Sleepy Joe Biden with the auto pen, which was approximately 92% of them, is hereby terminated and of no further force or effect. He says the auto pen is not allowed to be used if approval is not specifically given by the President of the United States. He also says in that post, quote, I am hereby canceling all executive orders and anything else that was not directly signed by crooked Joe Biden.
And everybody who was hired by that scumbag, you're fired. And that's why government employees in the federal level are the lowest they've been since 1966. What other Republican would do that for you? This is the beauty of what we live through. Do not walk around in some sort of fog because you're surrounded by Democrat scumbags. The rest of the country is winning, and they reject all establishment Republican scumbags.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
And your father, too. 312-642-5600.
Marxists, socialists, and communists are not welcome on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hello?
Sir, this is Officer Peterson. There's been a string of break-ins in the area, and your office, it was hit.
Hit? What do you mean? We were robbed?
Looks like the back door lock was easily pried open, and they moved through the building like they knew exactly what to take. We see wires everywhere. No computers.
What? No computers? I just upgraded everything.
Looks like they moved fast. We only found out because a neighboring business had their alarm go off. Do you have any security cameras?
No, nothing.
Don't wait until it's too late. Goldilocks protects Chicagoland businesses with custom security solutions. From reinforced commercial doors with keyless entry to cameras and 24/7 monitoring that alerts authorities immediately. Schedule a free on-site assessment at GoldilocksInc.com. Again, that's GoldilocksInc.com. Plus, AM 560 listeners get their first 3 months of monitoring free with a new install. Call 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Goldilocks, Chicago's premier locksmith, doors, and security systems company since 1981.
It's almost time once again for the annual AM 560 Golf Outing, presented by Signature Bank. AM 560 is proud to partner with the Tunnel to Towers Foundation to help them support America's first responder and military heroes, to help America never forget 9/11. This year, our golf outing is happening on Monday, June 15th at McRae Memorial Golf Club in Barrington. When you purchase a foursome to join us, you'll enjoy a full day of golf, meals, an awards reception, and a silent auction. And if you're a business owner, when you purchase a foursome, you'll also receive an AM 560 marketing campaign, which includes 25 one-minute commercials to air on AM 560 Monday through Friday between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. and a free digital marketing analysis. Reserve your foursome today at 560theanswer.com/golf. That's 560theanswer.com/golf. Sponsored in part by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Nolan Webster and by real estate broker Ed Dring at leavingil.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
AM 560.
The Answer. It's great to be with you. Thank you so much for joining us at 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Stephen Holt.
I'm Allison Rosati. We're coming off a Memorial holiday weekend with a statistic Chicago has not seen in years. 0 homicides recorded. That's according to Chicago police.
Some encouraging statistics there, but there's still a concerning trend as we head into the summer. There were 2 teen takeovers over the holiday weekend, and one of them turned violent.
How much damage was done? I had a friend of mine text me, you're a little hard. Am I hard on it? What about the decent Chicagoan that spends all of his money to keep his house nice, bought a car, and these filthy animals were running on tops of the cars, breaking the windshield, breaking the windows, destroying property. What, do you want to be polite now? Now we're trying to win them over? What am I, Darren Bailey? Won't you be my neighbor? Get the hell out of here. You call it what it is. Savagery, wildings, uneducated, illiterate morons, destroying the quality of life, and you're paying high bills for it. Not just the $33,000 a year they say they spend on education where no one can read or do math, but the cost of destruction of property of which you work your ass off. That's what every decent Chicagoan wants to tell these filthy, low-life, illiterate morons that destroy everybody else's property. Rick Desplaines.
Shaun, how you doing? I got it real quick. You were talking PPP earlier. Back in the day when they first came out with that, and this was after the Cars for Clunkers thing, the girl I used to work with, she got a brand new Jeep. It's not a cheap car. It's a Jeep. Yeah. And her friend hooked her up. She went online and come up with a fake company or whatever they do. Got a gosh darn free car out of it.
Rick, when you realize that these policies are created to be stolen, to be frauded, and the order comes from Mount High, from the politician, from the guy in charge of your village, the guy in charge of the county, the guy in charge of the state, and they tell you, listen, there's a good thing coming. All right, it's going to be money for nothing. You get yourself an LLC, you put it in line, we're going to fast track your application, you're going to get the kick out. The whole fracking thing is a scam. There is no altruism. There's just $30 trillion in debt that has been added on the backs of every decent American in this country, and it's all in the name of policy, and they want everybody to pay it except themselves. It's disgusting.
That bill.
Yeah. Do me a favor. Try to find out, because I know you're a research buff. Try to find out exactly what the tax bills the Clinton Foundation has paid. Will you? It's going to be right next to the Pritzker Foundation, in between the Soros Fourth Reich Foundation. I'm sick and tired of these fracking scams, Rick.
You want me to start in Haiti?
You start there. That's where all the good scams go. Thank you. Appreciate the call. Where's my guy? Adam, Lake Bluff.
Hey, Shaun, how you doing?
Good, babe.
I just got to tell you, my mom was watching the debate when Bush Jr. and Sr. were there, and Bush Sr. made the Italian cut under the neck with your index finger.
That's only the South Italian and some Sicilies. Yeah, I know what you mean. The Northerns, they don't toy with that stuff. But go ahead.
Right, but he did that. What I'm wondering is, I was thinking you can make a movie out of something like this, but why don't all the people that own guns and all that are a little bit older, why don't they go ahead and maybe make like a suicide mission and start taking out some of these politicians?
Well, because we're civilized. That's what the transvestites and the Democrat morons on welfare do. We don't do that. We don't kill people in the name of anything.
I know we don't do that.
Here's the other thing. You got to understand, Adam, the beauty of the country, most people don't realize it. We're set up so we never have to do that again. if you articulate the argument the way it's supposed to be. If you're united by principles, then you're the United States. If you're extorted through intimidation and taxation, then you're the Soviet states, right? So, and I'm telling you another thing, Adam. If you've ever been out of Illinois, they don't even consider Illinois or the U.S. government part of what their agenda is and how they run their states. Just go a little bit south, Adam. You don't have to go far. You don't have to come to Florida. Go to Alabama. Go to Tennessee. Go to these areas that refuse to bend a knee and participate in all the... Start with COVID. Whatever state freed their people from the vaccine mandate, the mask mandate, and all of that fraud that the government created, paid for the bioweapon, and released it, those are the states you buy real estate in, Adam. Because it's different. They don't have to go through that. Yeah. And they know the viciousness of the northern states, who not only wanted to go to war with their men, but decided to kill and burn their families back home. So the difference is, Adam, we're far more decent than the indecent, low-life Democrats, which is the beauty. And the beauty, Adam, is they're in small
Miami,
areas.
So.
They're small areas now. They're small areas.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is section them off. The secession afoot is beautiful to watch. The decent out of New York, the decent out of Illinois, the decent out of Philadelphia, the decent out of California. It's beautiful. We're living in the best time. There's no need for war. Besides, the best thing you could do for somebody who's a scumbag is end it. I hope they all live to be 1,000 years old. I want every low-life, good-for-nothing, welfare suck-on to live to 1,000 years old and never be worth anything their whole life. Thank you very much. Scott Willowbrook.
Shaun, I like what you just said to Adam. It kind of goes along with what I just wanted to say, and that's that, you know, if we really want to drive the stake into the vampire, both Republicans and Democrats that have been crooked all these years, that have done all this, you know, bad spending and fraud and all the other, get your butts out and vote these new politicians in, because
there was
it's the best.
There's a very good point he said about George Bush Sr. and George Bush Jr. Take a look at these families who had the audacity, the sheer balls, to run that scumbag Jeb. Take a look at old man Bush, his appointment by Ford, Gerald Ford, who was put in after Nixon. That's the only reason he was put in charge of the CIA. This is a mafia. And people think these establishment suck-ons are going to do anything that Trump did. Why do you think they hate him? He's the first one to fix things because it was right, and to make things so that the American people had property rights. They're Fabians. They're socialists. They're Nazis. Skull and Bones, Yale. It's all the same stuff as Marxism and socialism. They just think it's better if you dress nicer. Scumbags. We'll be back.
He's Shaun Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
And this is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you turning 65 and thinking about Medicare? Or are you over 65 and haven't enrolled yet because you still have coverage at work? Either way, Medicare done correctly will be the best health insurance you will ever have. Imagine having an annual deductible of only $283. There are only two good things about aging: wisdom and Medicare. But to navigate the Medicare maze properly, you need a mentor. Best part? My guidance costs you nothing. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Medicare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 30-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than a decade. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
Hey, if your loved one is aging but still mobile, still values their independence, there's a simple tool that keeps them safe and keeps you in the know. I am proud to tell you about Safety Plus by Connected Caregiver. Safety Plus is a wearable device that alerts you immediately if your loved one has had a fall. They can wear it as a necklace, on their belt, or there's even a great watch option. There's even a simple push button on the device allowing mom or dad instant access to emergency services. As you age, it's not like you plan for a fall. Suddenly your knee might lock up, there's an uneven surface, wet floor, there's simply no excuse to not wear something discreet that keeps you safe and can keep you at home longer. That's Safety Plus by Connected Caregiver. To see if you qualify for a free device, call 888-870-8020, 888-870-8020, or visit ccgoffer.com, ccgoffer.com. Again, 888-870-8020. With Connected Caregiver, peace of mind is just a phone call away.
I'm not going to bring up the fact that I was absolutely the first to sell and Proft had to linger for days and all the rest of it, but it's that time for the golf outing. So much fun. I play in the morning, Proft in the afternoon, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for everybody. It's another gathering of our little family. I love it. It's a fantastic place, McRae Memorial Golf Club in Barrington. The people who work there are just wonderful. Everything about it is great. And the best part, as far as I'm concerned, is that Tunnel to Towers Foundation. They benefit from it as much as we have fun, as much as it provides just an opportunity for our family to get together. Tunnel to Towers Foundation benefits from it. And everybody who comes, everybody who sponsors it, I mean it, from Signature Bank to Edge Ring and all our other people that come, it's just wonderful to see the difference that it makes with Tunnel to Towers, an organization that did things the government could never do. Spend billions and billions of dollars. The money gets stolen. What they've done for veterans, for first responders, the government could never do. And that's what I love. Happening June 15th at McRae Memorial. Be there or be square. AM 560 The Answer. Or I'm sorry. 560theanswer.com/golf. 560theanswer.com/golf. AM 560 is offering also, if you make the decisions for a business or you own one, you buy a foursome. We give you the foursome. We give you 25 one-minute commercials and a marketing campaign to see if you can improve sales. This is the best thing. In our little family, we keep each other afloat. We're who makes the world going around. We're not looking at stealing welfare money by skimming link cards or whatever the hell they call them. At our place, it's a scumbag-free golf outing. That's how they should have sold in the first place, Squirrel. I told them that. Scumbag-free golf outing. A couple cigars, a few laughs. 560theanswer.com/golf. When we get back, Terry, George, Robert, that'll be the order. 312-642-5600 if you care to participate. That'll be after news with Mike Scott.
Good afternoon in the QC Kinetics newsroom. A partly sunny afternoon ahead with a high of 86. A person of interest is in custody after a shooting on the southwest side that left a 17-year-old Chicago student dead. Chicago police say the victim's family has identified that teen as Pedro Ramirez. Iranian state media has released what it says is a draft of a peace deal between Iran and the U.S. Here's Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House.
Now, there are a number of points in here that appear to be very out of step with a lot of the U.S. red lines. But Iran is claiming that the Memorandum of Understanding would have the U.S. withdraw forces and lift the naval blockade in exchange for Iran restoring commercial traffic through the Strait of Hormuz within a month, with all ship traffic managed by Iran. They further claim if a deal is reached, it would become binding with a UN Security Council resolution.
Cubs take on the Pirates tonight. White Sox send Davis Martin to the Hill against Minnesota. The Bears working out at Hallis Hall. The News, a service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Subscribe free at 560theanswer.com/podcast. Next news at 5. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. Now with a check of the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center, here's Jill Urchak.
Out to the roads, eastbound I-94 near US 20, there is an accident blocking the right lane. Also, eastbound I-80 at Humboldt, an accident in the right lane as well. Elsewhere, going outbound on the Edens, holding at about 16 minutes, Montrose to Lake Cook Road. The Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, 35 minutes. Eisenhower in, there's a crash at Racine. That is almost 2 hours to get in from 390 to the post office. Also solid York Road to the Tri-State. Outbound trip at 1 hour. Stevenson, 48, DuSable Lakeshore Drive to the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Dan Ryan, a half hour. Janeburn interchange to 95th, tighten the express. 35th out to Marquette. Heavy on the Ford with roadwork 111th to Beaubien Woods. And DuSable Lakeshore Drive in the Tri-State, both heavy either way. Jane Addams looks good. Eastbound 88, slowing down near the Tri-State. Southbound 355 is snug. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a steady breeze and a low temperature of 55. Moving into Thursday, it'll be mostly sunny with a pleasant breeze, not as warm as before, and a high of 72. Thursday night will bring clear to partly cloudy conditions with a low of 52. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Amazon Business. With smart business buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience paired with delivery options built for business. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the Made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
Have you ever wondered, with all the different religions and interpretations of the Bible, how you can be sure that you're on the right path in your spiritual journey? The powerful new book, You and God by Peter Philippi, helps you answer this question and discover how to establish a truly personal relationship with God through biblical understanding and faith. Get your copy of You and God by Peter Philippi today by visiting pbmusa.org. That's pbmusa.org.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Wild West items, political history, we sell your American treasures. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Business people for that fraud PPP loans. Business people were approached by bankers and accountants. I have a relative who was approached by a landlord. And as they shut down the business, they said, get a file for one of these PPP loans. This way, you can pay the rent and all the different things can go on. So decent people took it. I have many friends, many family that took it. And two of one of them, do you know what they all had to do? Like my very close relative, they had to pay back 60% of the money. So they gave, and then a year later, they had to pay back. And I said, listen, don't take anything from these scumbags, because the only ones who are going to keep it are the scum Democrats, the government scum. The decent people, it'll be used as a weapon in perpetuity. And sure enough, two of one of them, they either had to pay back 60% and 70%. And then the argument is these Democrat dungholes made certain they couldn't operate the business. But there are scum out there that try to attack people. I'm not attacking people who were forced to take money because they shut down their business. I'm attacking you Democrat scum who allowed a dimwit with dementia thief for 50 years to steal election. If you voted for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, I don't give a rip what you think, how long you live, as long as it's not near me or anybody of good character.
Particularly hurt by the fraud because they're some of our biggest taxpayers in the country, and they show up every day. They work hard to provide for their employees, to build their businesses. They're doing it the honest way, and they see fraudsters taking from the American people. It's taxpayer money. And so you think about, at the SBA, we found $200 billion in fraudulent PPP loans that the Biden administration tried to hide and forgive and sweep under the rug.
Because it was a payoff to the Democrats post the political affiliation of all thieves, all of them, from the phony health care to phony Medicare scams, post their political party, who they voted for in the last 4 elections. You're done. That's all you have to do. Because Barack Obama and that short-in-the-pants daily mafia took that little scam that destroyed our once great city, and they brought it to the nation. And that's how it operates. And the people who were shut down, and you took the money, I have no problem with that. It's the scum Democrats who knew they were stealing, like the scum that vote Democrat. You know what you are. You know it's a scam, and you just want in on it because you have no character. None. Terry, Chicago.
Hey, Shaun, Maria Pappas, I think she's Cook County assessor, did a 40-year study saying if the Bears get their tax break in Arlington Heights, it's going to cost the taxpayer $1.5 billion. But she doesn't do an assessment of how much the illegals are costing the taxpayer. The other thing is, number two, and last thing, is years ago in the 70s, I read a book called Social Animal. And they took a 50-foot square foot area, put 50 mice in there. Then they made it 25 square foot, then 5. And the smaller the enclosure, the more aggressive the mice became. It's behavioral science. And so society's got 10 to 30 million illegals. They're taking housing, jobs, medical, legal. Society's becoming more aggressive because of democratic policy.
Here's another thing. Yeah, here's another thing, Terry, that's very interesting. Take a look back at when the government lowered the IQ standard for a mental disability. Take a look at it. It used to be 85. When you and I grew up and the decent people, if you had an IQ of 85, you were put in the Democrat room. Get in the room, moron! Then they lowered it to 75. And take a look at what society's happened there. It's right around when Reagan left. Kind of answers things, doesn't it? Roberto, Bloomingdale.
Hey, Shaun, what's up?
You called me, baby. What's up? I'm doing a show. What do you want to kibitz? You want to play tiddlywinks? What do you want to do here?
No, and I got pants on today, too.
Yeah, I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I was over, my Mrs. Lucy and I went to the Bloomingdale Republican Organization meeting. Durham Bailey was there. Ooh. And I stood up and I asked him, why are you on an apology tour? And he said he wasn't on an apology tour. He was for asking forgiveness for criticizing Chicago. The people love the city, and they are upset. He's feeling sorry because they're upset with him. And the rest of his spiel was a bunch of hogwash. I mean, this guy's...
Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you be my neighbor?
Yeah.
Did he end with that? Did they at least play the music underneath now his economic plan, which is pretty much Ted Dabrowski's economic plan? Did you see that? It's fantastic to watch. So apparently he can read, or somebody in his office is saying, listen, why don't you take what the guy who actually earned a living, who actually worked his whole life, who actually has an IQ over 75, why don't you take his policies and say they're yours?
We have got to stop taxing families out of their homes. Right now, there is no relief in sight under J.B. Pritzker. I've got a real plan. First, an immediate property tax freeze. Second, a hard 1% cap on assessed value on what any home can be taxed with zero exceptions. No family should pay more in property taxes than their mortgage. Finally, we will audit, Doge the state budget, cut the waste, and use every saved dollar to fully fund our schools. We have got to stop taxing families out of their homes. It's wrong, it's backwards, and it's crushing the American dream for us and our children. It's time to put Illinois families first. Thank you, and God bless.
Please won't you be my neighbor?
Now, it's funny. He was in state government, right, Squirrel? Am I remembering that correctly? State government for years, right? How come you didn't catch what McLaughlin caught?
Right now, the state legislature is shorting mayors, municipalities, and local communities by roughly 40% of LGDF revenues. That total amount is about $1.3 billion. This money is collected on behalf of these towns with the understanding and agreement it'll be returned to them. Instead, it hasn't been for over 15 years. That means less money for police, less money for fire, roads, and infrastructure.
Too bad Ted Dabrowski didn't say that, and then Darren Bailey could have said it. But then again, Darren Bailey was filling out PPP loan money. 312-642-5600.
He believes in freedom, capitalism, and individual liberty. And because of that, he's become an enemy of the state. He's Shaun Thompson, and this is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
I hereby bequeath the Cara dining table from Penny Mustard to my great-great-great-grandchild.
Really?
Our solid wood furniture lasts for generations, so I'm making sure everything's covered.
Not a bad idea, really.
The Cara table's timeless design will never go out of style.
This concludes my last will and tablement.
The Cara dining table, paired with 4 Rubio chairs, starting at just $152 a month with no interest and no payments till May of 2029. Through May 31st at Penny Mustard.
6 Chicagoland showrooms.
PennyMustard.com.
Wealth Health Radio. The biggest fears that people have is, do I have enough money to retire?
Retirement doesn't have to be complicated.
To make sure that you're going through retirement with confidence.
Learn principles of income planning.
There's a lot of different facets that you need to take into consideration when you're retiring.
Tune into Wealth Health Radio with Joe Murphy, noon to 1 p.m. Sundays on AM 560. The Answer.
Let me ask you something. Does your garage floor look bad? Covered in salt, cracked, or stained from the winter's brutal blast? Well, I've got a fix for you so you can start enjoying your garage this spring. Contact my good friends at Level 10 Coatings. Level 10 brought my garage floor from dirty and gross to showroom, shiny new in just one day. Level 10 Coatings can do the same for you. A quick and easy fix, permanent durable solution. Guaranteed to never chip or peel. Get it done now so you can enjoy your garage this spring and summer. Schedule your free quote today and mention me, Amy, for $500 off. Visit level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com. Level10coatings.com or call 855-510-2628. Again, that's 855-510-2628. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts.
The Federal Reserve has just announced a change in leadership, and that could have a profound impact on the value of your retirement. That's why now, more than ever, you need Advantage Gold, the #1 precious metals company in America. Call Advantage Gold right now at 800-900-8000 and get your free gold and silver investor guide, a $49 value, plus a free copy of Ken Rogoff's latest book, Our Dollar, Your Problem, giving you powerful insight into the future of money, markets, and global currency trends. Our specialists can help you open a new account or transfer funds from an existing IRA, tax and penalty free. Markets are unpredictable and they can turn fast, but precious metals are a safe haven asset that stand the test of time and volatile market conditions. The question isn't if the next shift is coming, it's when. Are you positioned? Don't miss this opportunity. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000. Results may vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Have you been watching gold and silver lately? Hard to ignore. Back in January of 2025, silver was under $30 an ounce, and now it's more than doubled. Again, not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started. Others say it's a good time to take some money off the table. Either way, whether you're buying or selling, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is the place to go. They stock large quantities of all the major bullion coins and bars. And here's what sets them apart. Unlike places that only pay melt value, Fox Valley Coins pays more for high-grade coins and scarcer dates. That's real money left in your pocket. They also buy scrap sterling flatware, jewelry, silver-plated items, and old proof sets. And they specialize in U.S. and foreign collector and investment coins and currency, both buying and selling. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at Ferry Road in Naperville. Family owned with integrity since 1981.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, the text come in. I love it. What are you going to be mad at me? Are you out of your mind? Even George Bush knows exactly what to think of Darren Bailey.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you.
Uh-huh.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
You're not even fooling George Bush, which pretty much a sunrise can do.
It's time to put Illinois families first. Thank you and God bless.
Please won't you be my neighbor? My neighbor? I'm glad we're together again.
We're not. George, Naperville.
Yes, Shaun, you think Biden's memoirs will be a good bathroom read for constipated patriots?
I don't think the people who he's going to say he sold it to can read, George. They're not going to be interested in it. And these are just the book scams to launder money from NGOs and PACs. They buy millions of them, and they pretend to be booksellers, like Barack Obama. That's the excuse, that and Netflix, for owning $60 million worth of real estate when he needed greasy, slimy Tony Resco and Rod Blagojevich's wife to assemble that parcel in Hyde Park so he could pretend to be a businessman and a success back then. Now look at the long history of absence of Barack Obama's legal career. What is it you did? Where's the cases? How'd you make your money? You're a step up from this imbecile.
Continue to work with Alderman Hall around that. It's why we're actually taxing these big tech companies for the role that they have played in harming the mental health and well-being of our young people.
Huh? What was the IQ of the young people? After all, you've got the products of Chicago public school system. 18 out of 100 can read, and 13 can do math. And you're telling me Facebook is the biggest problem? See, the biggest problem is your fraud. Your fraud education system, which is your block of political support. That's how it works. The policies are created to be stolen. The failure is used as a weapon to constantly tax everybody. And now, in the name of socialism, Mondamni's going to steal landlord's property, and this imbecile in a $6,500 suit who couldn't pay his water bill is going to sue Facebook, which is why Facebook, Amazon, and all of the exhibits of the American economy that succeeds no matter what should pull out of these areas, because the rest of the country is doing just dandy.
Well, there you go. More new highs indicated. Join us now, Ed Yardeni, president of Yardeni Research. He came swaggering in here like he knows everything. You've been...
No, I don't.
You've been right, though.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Last time you were on, you went from... I think you went from
7,700 to 8,250.
To what?
8,250.
By
the end of the year, and 10,000 by the end of the decade.
Tom Lee recently has said best couple of years that we're going to see in the stock market in his lifetime, or something similar to that. You've got some non-obvious reasons to make that case, don't you?
Well, I think it's actually the obvious reason, and that
earnings?
It's earnings. Yeah, I've been recently talking about FOMO versus FEMO. FEMO's fabulous earnings momentum, and that's really what's been driving the market. Not FOMO, not fear of missing out.
So it almost makes sense. I guess when I said not obvious, I meant given what's right in your face that causes people to think, oh my God,
of course,
stocks are, all the things that make you
worry about.
Yeah, the people that consistently build the wall of worry that the market climbs.
Yeah, I think what's been largely missed is the resilience of the economy. The economy is kind of like Rodney Dangerfield. It's been getting no respect.
And then we got to figure out what is responsible for that. We know it's the greatest economy in the world. Yeah. It always will, always has been. But then what else? Is it AI? Is it deregulation?
I think, it was about in 2024 that everybody was talking about American exceptionalism, and then the whole thesis kind of fizzled out in 2025. But we have amazing capital markets. There's a tremendous amount of capital available for innovation. That's driving the technology revolution. The technology revolution is driving productivity, and productivity is fairy dust. It makes everything better in the economy, better growth, lower inflation, real wages go up, and profits are great.
See what civilized people do? Now do me a favor, Squirrel. Check the Palestinian stock market, will you? It's right next to the Iranian currency exchange. Check it all! and figure out why all of these scum that are using excuses to steal people's money, why they pretend to deliver utopia, well, all they want to do is tax everybody.
We prevent the vast majority of these from ever taking place. There is an effort in City Council to hold these social media apparatuses accountable. I believe that we should continue to explore that, and I'm going to continue to work with Alderman Hall around that. It's why we're actually taxing these big tech companies for the role.
Pull out! If you're a decent businessman, why provide your service when all they're going to do is take your money? We'll be back.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey Chicagoland, Jeff from Jeff Buys Your House. When people call us, they're often dealing with something overwhelming. An inherited home full of belongings, parent needing senior living, managing an estate while juggling everything else in life. Here's what our sellers have to say after working with us. The very thought of hiring an agent, a cleanup crew, and dealing with months of uncertainty was overwhelming. But Jeff's team gave me permission to just leave it all. I took what mattered and they handled everything else. Another seller wrote, even my Medicaid specialist said Jeff Buys Your House is the name to trust. They gave me a fair price without the traditional real estate headache. And this one, they handled every hiccup. Title issues, paperwork, estate complications. I finally felt relieved. For nearly 20 years, our veteran-led team has earned hundreds of 5-star reviews for its professionalism, compassion, and seamless service. No repairs and no cleanout. Take your memories with you and we'll take care of the rest. If you're ready for a no-obligation conversation, call us at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or jeffbuysyourhouse.com.
Everywhere you turn, it's plus, plus, plus. But at Hassel's Mattress, nobody has more plus than us. Our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $293. Plus, through Monday, get a free adjustable base. Plus, a huge selection of Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and other big-name brands. Plus, free next-day delivery and setup. Plus, employee-free showrooms. Whew! All these pluses have me feeling nonplussed. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselist.com.
Twitchy.com brings you the latest in social news, highlighting and reacting to important conversations from America's most prominent journalists, politicians, and celebrities. Twitchy's kinetic group of editors deliver fast and amusing content around the clock to tell you who said what in global and political news, sports, entertainment, and media. If it's news, they're on it. If it should be news, they're ahead of it. Stay connected to the newswire of the 21st century with Twitchy.com. Twitchy.com.
Virago is fending off viruses and making America healthy again.
Hi, my name is Dr. Michael Huber. I'm one of the co-founders of Virago, the immune enhancement cocktail. Here are what some Virago users have to say.
I started using Virago a little more than a year ago. I have 3 school-age kids, and they are constantly bringing home whatever bug is going around school, whether it's a cold, a sore throat, whatever it is. Everyone in the house was getting sick. I started taking Virago to help boost my immune system, and it worked. I haven't been sick since starting Virago. I use just a half a dose daily unless I feel like I'm getting something. Then I'll take a full dose for a day or 2, and I'm fine. I also feel great and more on top of my game, like my memory is sharper. I'm not forgetting things. I absolutely recommend Virago.
Boost your immune system with Virago. Order your bottle today. Visit myvirago.com. That's myvirago.com.
And use promo code IMMUNE to get 30% off.
That's myvirago.com. Use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. Virago and Maha, making America healthy again.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560. The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Intellectual, philosopher, teacher, rabbi. I'm very interested in my next guest because among all of his accomplishments, his writings that have been all over media, his very successful radio show and podcast, he also is a cigar aficionado. It is my pleasure to interview Rabbi Michael Barclay, and we will do just that and more after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon, Shaun. In the QC Kinetics newsroom, we'll see a high of 86 later today. A person of interest is in custody after a shooting on the southwest side that left a 17-year-old dead. Chicago police tell us the victim's family identified that teen as Pedro Ramirez. A Chicago man faces a handful of felony charges connected with the death of a 2-year-old boy who suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound over the weekend. 31-year-old Southside resident Johnny Hughes has been charged with child endangerment. The victim, 2-year-old Jamonte Shaw, was inside a residence in the Pullman neighborhood when he allegedly shot himself in the head. Florida's new congressional district map will stay on the books for now. Here's Fox's Evan Brown.
In the ongoing state-by-state political redistricting battles, Florida's new map is intended to limit Democrats to 4 of the state's 28 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. The map's critics complained it violated a state constitutional provision against political gerrymandering. The judge ruled they didn't prove their claim and that it was too late to make changes with a primary scheduled in 3 months' time.
The Cubs take on the Pirates tonight. The news, a service of Fox Valley Coins. Bring your gold or silver in-store today. Receive cash or a check right on the spot. FoxValleyCoins.com. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
A choppy trading session with the major averages ending higher and eking out new highs as the AI rally pauses and Middle East talks loom. Falling oil prices are calming inflation worries, with West Texas Intermediate crude settling at around $89 a barrel. The Dow up 183 points, the Nasdaq higher by 19, S&P 500 up a point. Salesforce reported mixed first quarter results and delivered an earnings and revenue beat, but the enterprise software company's second quarter revenue outlook fell a bit shy of analysts' expectations, and its stock is wavering after hours. Shares of Snowflake are surging in extended trading. The cloud storage provider delivered an earnings and revenue beat for its first quarter, along with strong guidance for its second quarter. Also, Amazon Web Services said it signed up Snowflake as its latest chips customer. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
So many people are living every day with pain that they just think they're stuck with it. It is what it is, but it doesn't have to be. I want to tell you about a letter I got from Oregon, a guy named George, and his Relief Factor story. George, hardworking guy, spends 10 hours a day on a garbage truck. Tough job, made even tougher because he's dealing with a sore right knee that just wouldn't bend. But here's the amazing part. George started taking Relief Factor, and it changed his life. And he said in his letter to me, and I quote, "I can bend my knee again with very little pain." I can relate to George. There was a time when I wondered if I could continue working because my pain was so bad. If you're living with aches and pains, see how Relief Factor, a daily drug-free supplement, can help you feel and live better every day. Give their 3-week quick start a try, $19.95. A few weeks, even days, you'll feel the difference that Relief Factor can make in your life. You don't have to be stuck living with the pain. Visit ReliefFactor.com, ReliefFactor.com, 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800-4-RELIEF.
Hey, I'm Kirk Cameron. Is health insurance eating up your budget for 2026? If you're looking for ways to better steward your finances, consider this: Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's a health insurance alternative at half the cost. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. While insurance companies tell you when to join, what to pay, and where to go, CHM is different. As a ministry, CHM allows you to share the burden of medical bills with other Christians. You can enroll, switch programs, or leave at any time. Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's a world of difference. CHM has 4 flexible programs. You can pick any certified doctor, surgeon, or hospital that you want for eligible care. So make the switch. Take your paycheck back from health insurance this year. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer. From the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Outbound Eden's a 15-minute ride. Montrose to Lake Cook Road, the Kennedy out 38. Downtown to O'Hare, accident inbound Eisenhower at North Avenue. Another at Racine, hour and 25 in from 390. Outbound side is an hour to get back to the Jane Addams. Stevenson out 35 to the Tri-State, 48 to 355. It's a half hour on the outbound Dan Ryan with tie-ups in those express lanes. 47th to Marquette and the Fort sluggish out 115th down to 159 with road work. To Saba Lakeshore Drive in the Tri-State, either way busy. Southbound 355 and eastbound Reagan showing delays. Eastbound 80 crash at Humboldt and eastbound 94 one at US 20. This report is a service of Salem Surround, a local digital marketing agency providing high-performing digital solutions to surround your target audience. Go to surroundchicago.com today. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a steady breeze and a low of 55. Tomorrow, Thursday, will bring mostly sunny conditions with a pleasant breezy feel and temperatures not as warm, reaching a high of 72. Thursday night will be clear to partly cloudy with a low of 52. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
I love America. I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment. I want to carry and all else. I love it, property. And let me tell you something. If you care about your country, I'll read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian Economic School, motherfuckers.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white,
it's really not that complicated of an argument as I see it. It's civilized versus uncivilized. Quite obvious. The more you look back at the history of things, the more you realize exactly what kind of abuse, extortion, fascism we're really facing, but few are talking about it.
Islam will enter every house. No house will be left untouched. This is the promise of Allah.
No, it won't. No, it won't. I've looked into this so-called religion, and I have come to the conclusion it's ridiculous, it's made up, it's preposterous, and it's repulsive. And I've looked into all religions, and only one threatens the others. Only one. It's fascinating to watch. But then again, it's an argument that's been going on since they made it up in the year 622. I don't really think it's as opinionated as they make it seem. They just appear to be Philistines to me, part two. But my next guest is the intellect. He is somebody who is a historian. He is somebody who has studied, who teaches. He is Rabbi Michael Barclay, host of the radio show and podcast, The Rabbi's Table, Dialogue, Not Debate, on CRN Digital Talk Radio. It's my pleasure. How are you, Rabbi?
I'm well, thank God, Shaun, and thank you for having me on your show and for everything you do for this country and for the world.
Oh, come on. That's what you do, right? You just think and you understand what's right versus wrong. And, you know, this is really where I see it. I agree, and I love the tagline. Listen, we're not here to debate you. It's dialogue about right and wrong. This idea that there is a compromise with wrong is the problem with society. You can't compromise with wrong. You can just agree to be wrong. That's what we've been doing, isn't it, for quite a while?
Well, it's worse than that. We've been agreeing to subjugate ourselves to evil. The Quran, if you study it, is not a religious text. The Hebrew scriptures, the Christian scriptures, the Vedic scriptures, Hinduism, Buddhism, these are all spiritual traditions that their goal is to help the participant deepen their awareness of their relationship with God through their pathway. The Quran is a business plan to create worldwide domination of a caliphate run by Sharia law. It has nothing to do with spirituality. It's all about conquering.
You know, there's something that's fascinating about religion. You know, when you're born into an Italian neighborhood and your mother's Italian, you're born in the religion. You just are. And what's fascinating is from really early on, a lot of religions have kind of a brainwashing mechanism, a kind of a subservience, taught subservience. And you know what bothered me? I was lucky enough to be raised by smart people. It was as if they were trying to change your own God-given judgment, your own character, and make you conform. And that always didn't sit well with me, so I was not a practicing Catholic for much of my life, even though forced. You know, when you're a kid, you're always forced. Everybody's forced. But it's a beautiful thing to realize you can go in and out, you can learn, you can be mad, you can rekindle your appreciation, whatever you choose, because all but one religion allows freedom of individual. And Judaism has this. You have many Jewish people don't practice, read about it. They select holidays like many Catholics and Christians. But there is only one that threatens their own people with death if they leave it. Right? I mean, how much more obvious can direct slavery be than in any other religion than this?
Look, Don, you're 100% right. If a Catholic only goes to church on Christmas and Easter, and a Jew only goes on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we don't throw them out of the religion. We don't consider them heretics. If you are not an observant Muslim, you are considered kafar, which means an infidel. And anyone who's a kafar, which means an infidel because they're not practicing Islam fully, or a Jew or a Christian, anyone, all of these people, all infidels, are to be either enslaved, converted, or killed. Period.
It's so preposterous.
It's not about God. It's not about religion. It's not about life. It's about death. And as I say, it's a political movement. It is not a religion the way we think of it. And one of the things that the West, that we need to start doing, is we think that the 80% of Muslims who do not practice Islam, very in an orthodox way, we think those are the normal Muslims and the other guys are the extremists. It's not the case. The Hamas, Hezbollah, etc., those are the actual Muslims, and they consider the other 80% infidels.
Well, and the tell is in the forced capitulation to it. I've been blessed in life in far as just the way in which it's panned out, and I've worked hard to succeed, and I've been lucky enough to take advantage of a time in history where there was a beauty of an explosion of American capitalism. And I was lucky enough to go to a place that really was a pinnacle of it. I was lucky enough to go to the Mercantile Exchange. And really it was one of the first introductions I had was a businessman in my old neighborhood to Jewish people. And his name was Harry Roth. And every day he would have coffee with my grandfather, and he would sit there, and he was the first man I ever saw my grandfather appreciate his intelligence. And he was focusing on stocks, and he inspired me to be curious about this business. So I went to the Mercantile Exchange, where I met wonderful people of all faiths and all religions, really, truly did. But it's funny to see how this religion and the people who practice it want to force you into it. And, I used to make fun of it. I never met a Jewish guy that forced me to say, are you a Jew? Say you're a Jew or we'll kill you. Never. They didn't want anybody in it. I love that about that religion. But the idea that we tolerate in the year 2026, somebody who says you will convert, it shows you how far we have not advanced intellectually when you're talking about forcing someone to believe in something they don't. It's really unbelievable how stupid we still are as a species.
It's astounding. And look, one of the things that I tell people all the time, I tell Jews this all the time, is when a Christian or a Catholic comes to me and says, we want you to become a Christian, they're doing it out of love. They want to spread the gospel, the good news. They want to have me in heaven with them through Jesus, which is their belief that's the only way. That's entirely different than you will convert to Islam or we will kill you, we will convert you, or we will tax you with the jizya tax. And I do have a question. When you were in the mercantile market, you see you met people from every religion. Were there Muslim traders?
One. And I used to joke around.
Yeah, it's not typical. It's very atypical. It's not because part of the Islamic belief is to have the jizya, the tax, and that the infidel is to serve you, not you were.
Yeah. One, and I used to joke around with him. This is the other thing that really is off-putting. One of the most beautiful things about humanity is the ability to make fun of yourself and your own group. I love this about people, right? And Italians do it, and non-Italian, Irish do it, and Catholics do it, Christians do it, Jews do it. This religion doesn't do that.
Yes, we do.
Oh, of course. Come on. Don Rickles. The best. And when you look at the idea that they outlaw humor, they outlaw any success of living outside of this slavery, so much so they dictate what you wear, how you eat. I understand religions have traditions, But this is really a prison more than it is a religion. But you look at the way in which it's always conflict. I don't think, I really do feel it's the Philistines part two. Am I way off base on this?
I wouldn't insult the Philistines that way.
All right. Fair enough.
I really wouldn't. They're an ancient culture that became extinct 3,500 years ago. But, you make the comment about laughter. Charles Denton has a great quote. He said that for those who rule by fear, laughter is the most frightening sound in the world.
And that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what and you see in 2026, just today in UCLA, you know this, Jewish kids were beat up. Bad. You're seeing active violence. Things you never thought. I never thought I'd see. I was blessed to be born in the late 60s, and it was in a totally different civilized society back then. It's really devolving into non-civilization. And when you look at the money that comes in from, I call them Islamo-Nazis, Rabbi, I think it sums it up, but from the Islamo-Nazi sector, and you see 3 times, 4 times, 5 times what AIPAC and what Israel gives. And yet when you watch the news, it's Israel this and Israel that. So they're being propagandized, and when I say they, I mean the American people. They're being propagandized by who is called their media, but it's really what the East Germans called the Department of Agitation and Propaganda now. But it's working, isn't it?
It's working extremely well. And, I don't use the term Islamo-Nazis, and let me explain to you why. The Nazis, at the end of the day, as evil as they were, as many horrific things as they did, most of them felt guilt about it. Most of them had been raised in a Christian or Catholic background. As you say, it sticks with you to a certain level. They were not proud of what they did, most of them, and none of them were willing to, they wanted to kill the Jew, but they weren't willing to die in order to be able to do that. Islam, you get bonus points if you die killing the Jew. So they're actually much worse than the Nazis in that way. I wrote an article for PJ Media last week, or Memorial Day. I had watched the old movie The Great Escape with my children, and the difference between that portrayal, which was very accurate in some ways, of what a German prison of war camp as opposed to what the hostages from Hamas had to deal with. Islam is much more evil. It really is, than even the Nazis.
Well, it's proud of its evil. It's proud of the women they rape. It's proud of the mayhem and the torture. This is why you can't go, as far as I'm concerned, not within a country mile would I allow anybody in my family to even entertain this preposterous, the religion of hate. It's a cult more than a religion. And when you see it like this, why are so many people afraid to identify it for what it is? We in this country have lived hand in glove with all religions, but a lot of Jewish people, and everybody faces some sort of slight of opinion of others, and there have been tough times. But in the year 2020, things changed drastically. In the year 2020 to now, the uptick in violence specifically towards American Jews is parabolic, and yet few discuss it. This is clearly a result of an agenda of nefarious actors, whether they pretend to be political or not, supporting this cult in America. I can see it no other way. What has your research shown in the last 6 years is responsible for this massive uptick?
Look, I think that we need to recognize, and some of the, Amy Meck is really amazing. Her work and Robert Spencer's work are both amazing places if people want resources or to research. The reality is that our first war as in the United States of America was with Muslims. It was the Barbary pirates.
Yes.
Who insisted on saying that we're commanded by Allah to do this. And our war now is the same. The term Islamophobe, there's many arguments that it was actually created by the Muslim Brotherhood in the early 20th century. It's a great tool to say, oh, you don't like what we're doing. Oh, then you're scared. You're an Islamophobe. You hate you. That's not the case. I'm not scared of Islam. I'm very clear about what it is. And we all need to be clear about that because there are attacks from the enemy within. We have these Sharia communities all over the country that are popping up, like they have in England, with jihadi gangs, they have no-go zones where the police can't come, where they live by Sharia law. That's not coincidence. And here in California, right now before the legislature, it's gone through 2 committees, been unanimously passed by both, that for the first time in history, California is about to sign off and create 2 religious holidays that will be official state holidays. And they're both Islamic holidays, one of which involves animal sacrifice. 50 million animals are killed every year on that one day.
Oh.
And that's about to become a California state holiday, which means children in elementary school will have to learn about it, just like Memorial Day or Labor Day. Good Friday isn't a state holiday. Rosh Hashanah is not a state holiday. Ash Wednesday is not. But suddenly these 2 Islamic holidays are about to become that. And it's the alliance between the Islam and the far left. And it's very scary, and we got to wake up, and we got to take care of it.
And you know what's funny is, I spent a lot of time, Rabbi, looking back through history and seeing exactly what the character flaw is in people that subscribe to a variety of different totalitarian beliefs, communism, Marxism, socialism. When you see Americans be so self-loathing to adopt out of all the religions that have thrived in this country, and there are many that have thrived, why you see them bend knee to the most responsible for atrocities throughout its creation. This is the other thing. You know what else I don't like about it? I don't like how they pretend it's as old as Judaism, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is it 5,000 years or 6? Which one is it?
So we consider Judaism with Abraham, so really about 3,700 years.
3,700 years. And then our guy, Jesus, you're looking at 2,000 years.
2,000 years ago.
622 AD, the landscaper marries a 55-year-old before he marries a 6-year-old. And he can't read, can't write, and this comes up with it. When you look at why it has the credibility it has, I'm curious to know what the explanation is for it. Why does it have the credibility of being a religion that goes back thousands of years when it really goes back a little over 1,000?
It doesn't. But the big lie repeated often enough becomes viewed as truth. You know, the old statement that a lie travels the world before the truth gets out of bed. Islam is what it is. They want to sit there and say that the mosque in Jerusalem is supposed to be there. It's built on top of the ruins of a temple, which is built on top of the ruins of another temple.
And how about the destruction of other religions' artifacts? And how little it's mentioned. I mean, you're talking about Buddhists and for the last 35, 40 years, the goal is to just destroy any artifact anywhere. And I'm just amazed that people with an IQ over 60 would tolerate. I really am. I don't care if you practice no religion. The idea that you would make special compensation, national holidays, state holidays, different kinds of money, and ignoring crime, and it's just preposterous that in America this exists. It is a psychological defect, isn't it?
It really is. It's again. You know, the analogy that I make is there's an old story that a rabbi walks into a village and he sees all of these bullseyes and arrows, and targets. And he says, "Who's your archer?" And they say, "David, the 9-year-old." He goes to David. He says, "David, did you do this?" He goes, "Yes." He says, "How'd you get to be so good at archery?" He says, "Rabbi, it's easy. I shoot the arrow, then I draw the target around it." So these people who are very smart but who have an inherent self-loathing, a hatred for the America that they grew up in, hate everything that is pro-American and love everything that is anti-American. And so they decide to draw the target around and say, well, you know what, Islam's good because it's not the oppressor. It's not the one that is we view as an oppressor. So they must be good. They must be nice people. It must be a good tradition because look all the bad that the Crusades did or the Christians did. It's ludicrous, but it's people who are drawing a target around what they want their belief to be, and they'll use anything in the world to justify it.
How much in your own in my what I factor is the Barack Obama factor, right? And how much money was given in the name of peace and policy that enriched not just Iran, but all of the Islamic nations that hate Jews and hate America's freedom. When you look now back through American presidents, American Congresses and Senates, which is your era that focuses on what really stoked this to the level it is? Is it Barack Obama who financed it? Or is it the Jimmy Carter administration, really arguably you could say the Ford administration, where they started to funnel money through nefarious bureaucracies in America into the Islamic world? Or does it go all the way back to Rockefeller and to Getty, who took advantage of the Sherman Antitrust Act and then built up these nations that would have never, ever created the kind of wealth they have? How far back does it go, or is it all the way?
So I view this as it goes back 1,400 years because they have always wanted to have this kind of conflict. I believe we started surrendering a long time ago, certainly by Carter, and it became paramount and a part of our culture with President Obama, who was very clear he wanted to he said it. He wanted to change America.
Yeah.
He wasn't lying about it. You know, Golda Meir once said, if someone says they want to kill you, believe them.
Yes. I loved watching. I loved being a kid and watching the tapes of her, and, you know, not a handsome woman, however, wicked smart, or a striking resemblance to Ernest Borgnine, but I loved her brain. Absolutely loved it. So it's a beautiful thing to watch this through history and to see now the way it's changed. 50 years we put up with presidents talking about it. First time anyone ever did anything is a developer from New York who liked to yell at people, and nobody took seriously. I'm loving the Trump era. Are you?
I really am. I wish he would listen more to Marco Rubio than to J.D. Vance and Steve Witkoff. Rubio is incredibly clear and has been talking about this since 2011.
You know what
Witkoff wants to get elected, so different.
But you know what he's giving America is the appetite for non-politicians. This is the first time since George Washington we didn't have anybody. This guy never ran for dog catcher. Cultivated through that. Say whatever you have to say. Become a political chameleon. I think people are adopting a taste for it, and they're also adopting a taste for something being done about an entire region of the world that wants to destroy us, wants to destroy you. And we're up against the clock, Rabbi, but from what I understand, I owe you a big thank you. And you took advantage of both of us loving cigars. So I'm going to make you a deal. If you're ever in Florida, I don't care what side, will you let me know? Because I'm going to drive over. I'm going to buy you dinner, and we smoke cigars. We'll have an all-around fantastic evening, and maybe we get in a fight with a couple of bikers at the end. What do you say?
I think that sounds fabulous because I'm also not the 5'2" rabbi. I'm 6'3", 225. So I'm
nice.
totally down with that.
I'm not that. I'm short, but I got a low center of gravity. I look Mike Tyson eye to eye. I might have been a little nervous, but I still could look him eye to eye. So I appreciate you more than you know, and thank you for everything you do. I want to go to Everything Rabbi Michael Barclay, and I believe that's the name of your site. Am I right?
The best way is actually the rabbi'stable.com. That accesses everything, including all of the new shows. We just started. We've had guests of Alan Dershowitz, Dinesh D'Souza, had James Lindsay, Robert Spencer, Tommy Robinson. And the idea is to have dialogue, not debate. And the idea is to learn and hopefully be entertained and have fun and make the world a better place and make it like the state of Florida.
I love it. And Alan Dershowitz, rocking the leather leisure suit with the afro in the 70s, scarred me. Next time you talk to him, will you let him know?
I will. You're not the only one he scarred. I think he scarred himself, too. But he's a genius.
Yes, he is. Thank you very much, Rabbi Michael Barclay. I appreciate it. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
Make money, smoke cigars, and live free on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
The following advertisement includes a celebrity impersonation.
The summer heat in Chicagoland is no joke. And if your old air conditioner is making funny noises, you may already know it's time for a new unit.
Look, your air conditioner, it's a disaster. People are telling me it's the worst ever.
Don't sweat it, literally. When it comes to cooling your home, Air Right Heating and Cooling does it the best.
And they love our country. Beautiful people.
Rebates are still available, financing is flexible, and at Air Right installations are smooth and professional with no surprises.
It's beautiful. Some people say it's the coolest air anyone's ever felt. I don't know. That's just what they're saying. It's doing an incredible job. Really tremendous.
Plus, tell them AM 560 sent you, and Air Right will give you $56 off any service. Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling today at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that's AIR-RITE.com. Air Right Heating and Cooling. Doing it right since 1959.
You didn't want to buy gold when prices were rising. Then you waited when gold pulled back. Now you're stuck in the middle, unsure what to do next. Speak with a precious metals specialist now at noblegoldinvestments.com. Get the answers you need to stop guessing and move forward with confidence. Their team makes it simple to gain real investor knowledge and insight. Stop trying to time the market. Start spending time in it. Don't let the market move without you. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com.
Everywhere you turn, it's plus, plus, plus. Retail chains, streamers, even our phones come with plus. And to think it all started with Hasseless mattress, because nobody has more plus than us. Right now at Hasseless, get a Queen Beauty Sleep by Beautyrest Elm Cove A mattress. Others sell it for $1,459, but Hasseless has it for just $794. Plus, through Monday, you'll also get a free adjustable base. Plus, a huge selection of Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and other big name brands. Plus, free financing. Plus, free next day delivery and setup. Plus, free haul away and disposal of your old mattress. Plus, employee-free showrooms. Get all this, plus a whole lot more when you shop at Hasseless Mattress. Woo! All these pluses have me feeling nonplussed. Save big on Sealy Posturepedic, Beautyrest, and more every day from 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasseless.com.
Ellison Rosati and Chicago Media. By the way, Ellison, salad. Ellison Rosati and Chicago Media celebrate a 3-day weekend where 39 people got shot. 1 died, and that's success in a Democrat-run area. Everybody knows about the Wrigleyville kidnappings, robberies, rapes, breaking in stores from the north side to the south side to the west side. There is no good side. And now it's exported to Hinsdale, Barrington, Winnetka. After they carjack cars, they know what to do. It's a dangerous world out there. Are you going to trust an Illinois prosecutor? Of course not. Safety Act is code for let the savagery begin and never let it stop. But you can at least alert the good people at Goldilocks, who can alert your local police department and you, so you can run home with an axe, an AK, and take care of business, whatever you want to do. I think I have mine set up where they call me first, but it's monitored by professionals who have been doing it for 40 years. If you care about your home, your condo, your retail business, your warehouses, GoldilocksInc.com is the only place you have to go, or call 708-889-5600 and secure your property. Whether it's an old property, you can make it a smart property. Whether it's a bungalow, turn it into a smart home where you never have to ask, are my doors locked? Did I forget to lock the doors? Are the windows closed? You can monitor every inch of that property through their camera system. An expert comes out, tells you what to do, and he'll work with you. You say, I want to add this. I got a shifty neighbor I know is a Democrat, put something on the common area. They do it. Monitor your property, floodlights, cameras. Most importantly, a monitored system by 40 people hired from a company that's 40 years old, run by brothers. They also have doors for warehouses. If you run a business, you could shut off the entry to cleaners who you've hired and didn't know they were Democrats and are stealing your stuff. Shut their key card off instantaneously. Check it out for yourself. GoldilocksInc.com or call 708-889-5600. Mention my show and 3 months of free monitoring. Can't beat it. When we get back, Mark and Oak Lawn, you'll start us off along with everybody who called in order. 312-642-5600 after Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. In our QC Kinetics newsroom, we see an overnight low of 55 under partly cloudy skies. A Chicago man faces a handful of felony charges connected with the death of a 2-year-old boy who suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound over the weekend. 31-year-old Southside resident Johnny Hughes has been charged with child endangerment and possession of a firearm by a felony offender. Iranian state media has released what it says is a draft peace deal. Here's Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House.
Now, there are a number of points in here that appear to be very out of step with a lot of the U.S. red lines. But Iran is claiming that the Memorandum of Understanding would have the U.S. withdraw forces and lift the naval blockade in exchange for Iran restoring commercial traffic through the Strait of Hormuz within a month, with all ship traffic managed by Iran.
The Cubs on a 10-game losing streak send Jamison Taillon to the mound against Pittsburgh. White Sox will throw Davis Martin against the Twins. The news, the service of Mattress Firm, ready to upgrade to the perfect sleep setup. Let Mattress Firm sleep experts guide you to the perfect bed at the Memorial Day sale. Score unbeatable deals on top brands and ideal comfort at Mattress Firm. Next news at 6. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. Now with a check of the roads, here is Jill Urchak.
On the outbound Edens, it's a 16-minute trip. Montrose to Lake Cook Road, the Kennedy, 30 minutes. Jane Byrne Interchange to O'Hare. Accident on the inbound Eisenhower at North Avenue. Crews on the scene, hour and 20 in. The reverse is just under an hour. And the Stevenson outbound, 45 minutes to Sapa Lakeshore Drive to 355. Outbound Dan Ryan is a half hour. Tighten those express. 47th to Marquette. Very heavy along DuSable Lakeshore Drive north and south. Also some tie-ups on the tri-state either way, but the Jane Addams remains open. Southbound 355 is snug. Crash eastbound 80 at Maple as well. This report is a service of Salem Surround, a local digital marketing agency providing high-performing digital solutions to surround your target audience. Go to surroundchicago.com today. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a steady breeze and a low temperature of 55. Moving into Thursday, it'll be mostly sunny with a pleasant breeze, not as warm as before, and a high of 72. Thursday night will bring clear to partly cloudy conditions with a low of 52. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Temperatures are rising, and so are concerns about inflation, market volatility, and taxes. Revisit your financial plan this summer. VestGen Wealth Partners work with individuals to develop personalized plans that help navigate changing conditions with confidence. Visit GetRetiredStayRetired.com to learn more.
Advisory services offered through VestGen Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Private Client Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Private Client Services and VestGen Advisors, LLC are unaffiliated entities. Any information discussed does not constitute investment advice. VestGen Advisors and Private Client Services do not offer tax legal advice.
Your home or business has storm damage and you have an insurance claim.
Call Crosscom.
Crosscom Construction and Public Adjusters. Today, insurance companies are notorious for offering way too little money to repair damage to your home or commercial building due to wind, hail, tornado, floods, or fire. Crosscom works for you, not the insurance company. As licensed adjusters, Crosscom will work to get you the money you deserve, the maximum payout.
Call Crosscom.
630-871-5500. After they get you the fair insurance company result, Crosscom can start doing your repairs. Crosscom is a full construction and restoration company that will get your property back to its pre-loss condition, getting your life back to normal. Roof, siding, windows, doors, fire restoration, Crosscom does it all.
Call Crosscom.
Licensed in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and Wisconsin.
This is Dan Leitz with Crosscom. We share your conservative and Christian values. Let us handle everything. It all starts with a call.
630-871-5500. CrosscomPublicAdjusters.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Classic cars, vintage motorcycles, gas pumps, drive up the value at auction. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
I think there's this myth that's going on right now that, oh, Trump is really losing support among Republicans. But compared to other midterm cycles, he's just as popular with Republicans as he has ever been at this point in midterm cycles. Right now, nationally, we're talking about an approval rating on average of 84%. In 2022, his popularity rating was 76%, actually lower, right, when he wasn't in the presidency. In 2018, the last time he was president, 85%. That 85%.
Big. And there's more. Wait. There's more.
New immigration policy announced by the Trump administration is raising concern for thousands of people in our area. They are requiring most temporary visa holders to return to their home countries to apply for green card applications.
Our Alexis Wainwright spoke with an immigrant.
See how that's being reported? Do you know why, Squirrel? Because Kawawa, Joe Biden, that fracking moron thief, before his brain started to eat itself like Pritzker in a pizza, released 90%. 90. Because they said they downloaded their info on an app for a green card. Get the hell out of here. Rapes, robberies, the drunk driving. You were on a burro last Thursday. Now you're killing people. Mark, Oak Lawn.
Shaun, great show. Thanks for taking my call. I saw that Alderman Hopkins wants to put in a law, making parents accountable. And Brandon Johnson was up there talking about parents being accountable. But then when it comes to like signing a bill or signing something in writing, Brandon Johnson, he just wavers. You know what we need, Shaun? We need guys like Matt Dillon, Dirty Harry, and Cannon.
You need
come
Batman.
back here to Chicago. Remember Cannon? Batman. Yeah,
You need Batman.
we need them to come back to Chicago and
Well, you know what's funny,
do
Mark,
something.
is that you pretend, and I mean this seriously. You pretend that entire societies and generations of people you told not to be responsible, don't go to work, don't do the right thing. We'll take care of it all, from health care to food to rent to whatever you need. We got you. Now you tell people to be responsible? Doesn't work like that. This is the idea that you can hand somebody dignity. You can hand somebody money, but you cannot hand them dignity. You know who knows this? Bunch of rich people in Oak Park and River Forest. They know this.
Shaun,
and people think it's about color. Character doesn't have a color. Doesn't matter what fracking color, how much pigment is in your skin, has nothing to do with that. You know how many decent people of all colors would never allow their kids to see them wallow in futility, in poverty, beg for money. They would rather go out and figure it out. Yeah, go ahead.
Shaun, there's dignity in work, and you know what? I think this generation, they don't want to work, and that's where you really find out your manhood. And you know what? It's Ron. I saw that. What's his name? Rahm Emanuel. He wants to run for president. He just came out with something saying, yeah, anybody that makes under $200,000 goes to college for free. People don't forget about that Raquan McDonald tape that he hid, and then after the election, he showed it.
Brother, listen to me. The sitting president, a Democrat president, was banging a 21-year-old intern, and nobody gave a rip. Do you think there's going to be a scandal because this nine-finger Yakuza mafia member of the Daily Crime family hit a tape? You don't give a rip. Look at who they vote for. Listen, you want to hear one of the best clips ever? It's this.
Saw your husband in these photos with a young woman being massaged. What went through your mind? I am not going to speculate. You didn't have any feelings about young women massaging your husband? I am not going to offer opinions or speculation about anything that I have no context for and was not there.
Now, forget about the fact that his entire history of presidency and governorship is steeped in scandal. Listen to how she plays her part. It's freaking beautiful. You want to talk about keeping your eye on the ball. She covers for him while she does the scissors. They love it. This is crime family that got away with billions, not millions, Mark, not millions. The Clinton Foundation and this criminal entity stole billions.
I'll give you an example. If I saw a picture with my wife, it's just really hard to be relevant. If my wife saw pictures with me as a grown man hanging out with obviously or close to underage women, regardless if it was before we were married or not, it would be a question. And so what I'm asking you is, did any questions regarding those photographs come to your mind?
I am going to, just as clearly as I can state, say I don't see the relevance of your question, and I am not going to talk about conversations that I had with my family, especially my husband.
And the Clinton Foundation not only perpetrated and profited from bad policy.
Can I make a last comment?
Yes, of course you can. They made and paid for their daughter's wedding to a Goldman Sachs trader. Did you see the daughter? Marry her. You can't get a dog to come near her unless you put peanut butter behind her ears. Go ahead.
Hey, you talk about the Clintons, but here's the sad part. The Clintons, the Bushes, the Obamas, the Bidens, they're all in this together. And that's why they hate Trump. That's why they hate Trump so much.
Old man Bush called that scumbag, rapist, intern molester his fourth son. That's all you need to know about the Bush Republicans. 312-642-5600.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show. where Democrats are always wrong, Republicans are seldom right, and politicians are never, ever to be trusted. On AM 560, The Answer.
Platform safety is critical at your commercial and industrial facility. Keeping people safe and meeting OSHA requirements isn't optional. That's why Vans Industrial offers free platform inspections by professional structural engineers who know exactly what to look for. Problems with platforms, ladders, or stairs can lead to costly fines or worse. Vans Industrial helps you meet OSHA standards to protect people in your facility.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. With decades of experience, I bring long-standing industry knowledge from inspecting, correcting, and replacing countless platforms to make facilities safer. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor equipped to modify or replace steel catwalks, handrails, stairways, and ladders. Our union building trades professionals fabricate and install high-quality steel systems that create safer work environments.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free platform inspection by professional structural engineers. See what else we can do for you. Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com.
If you've saved $100,000 or more for retirement, call Steve Shyman today at 833-945-7283. That's 833-WILL-SAVE. 833-WILSAVE. Schedule your no-cost, no-obligation retirement review and make sure your plan is built to protect what you've worked so hard to earn. And don't forget to listen to Steve's show, Protecting Your Assets, Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. right here on AM 560. Call now, 833-945-7283.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up. And you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything. Design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4, everremodeling.com to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
AM 560, The Answer.
My favorite was the hot tub squirrel. Smiling ear to ear. I remember that. I think there was I hope, 18-year-old under the water. Checking out my Rolex, seeing if it was waterproof. Hornswoggler. And now, the plan is obvious. Just run against your own policies.
Well, the L.A. that I grew up in, first of all, was a lot cleaner. There were not people sleeping on our streets. The city was actually affordable. You could rent an apartment, work part-time, and go to school. So,
did you know, Squirrel, as a young communist, dingbat, ugly, repulsive-looking young girl, Karen Bass, was a member of that Council of Foreign Relations? Did you know that, Squirrel? You know how many assets of the Bush CIA family and so many others all were members of the Council on Foreign Relations? Staggering. Set up by the government. Rockefeller. Yeah. Probably a coincidence, commie.
it was a lot different. And I am so hopeful, though, because our city has grown to be such an international city, and I love that. Everybody in the world lives here, and our city is much more diverse than it was before.
Diverse? Boy, that diversity looks low. What did I step in? Don't worry. There's an NGO that's being paid by the government to steal your money over and over again.
She's gotten a $500,000, $750,000 salary from that nonprofit since he's been in office. Add that up, $5 million over his 7 years as governor. There is a lot of money put into a nonprofit organization that his wife controls, that he controls, and they get that money. They take a massive salary from that. For the last 7 years, he's made $200,000 a year, and his wife doesn't work. So where are they coming up with all their money? Politics is dirty.
Well, their money comes from John Paul Getty. His father was the tax attorney, which is pretty similar to being an accountant for a Pritzker. Same thing. California set up like Chicago, New York, New Jersey, Minnesota, set up to steal money. Barack Obama uncouples it from just tax receipts, and he puts it on the back of the national debt.
We voted for a lottery system that was supposed to save our schools. Where's that money? Yes. We voted for a bullet train that was supposed to be $18 billion. Now it's $180 billion. Where's that money? You know, we saw that the land underneath the bullet train was sold 3 times to Feinstein's husband using our money, to Pelosi's husband using our money, and then a third time to the developers, all 3 times with our money.
I mean, that's a fracking scam, baby. That'll make Resco go, I should have moved to California.
We even voted for daylight savings time. So you guys are still rolling back your clocks, right? Yeah. They do not care about us. They do not value us. We have lost our sovereignty as a country, as a state. The same country, or the same corporations and entities that own Main Street, own Wall Street, and they own the rest of the world. And it happened right out from underneath us.
His last name is Serpa. I'll tell you what, if he was anywhere but California, that's a national candidate for the new party, the American Principled Party, not the Bush Republican Party.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
You ever want to talk about your half-brother, step-brother, whatever your father used to call this scumbag? Cut me in or cut it out.
It has entirely crushed Haiti. In 2010, we had an earthquake that killed 315,000 people. That's really a deadly earthquake, and millions were left without shelter. President Obama named Bill Clinton as the one that should be in charge of the reconstruction of Haiti. And in that process, the Clinton Foundation, through U.S. taxpayers' money, and people giving money worldwide to the Clinton Foundation for relief effort to Haiti, contributed about $14.3 billion. We're talking about billion dollars, okay? And the Haitian people has not seen not even 2% of that money.
2%.
Nothing was done in Haiti.
Yeah. No, and the New York Times has investigated this. Lots of other people have, and have found that it was donors to the Clinton Foundation that were then given these contracts, and they went in.
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly, and actually they were given those contracts. They were given millions of dollars from that money, and nothing was actually done in Haiti.
Yeah.
The more it changes, the more it stays the same. And the common link to all of it was Epstein. Epstein, who was there hook, line, and sinker, not just with Reid Hoffman, the financier of the Clintons, Obama, that fat pig, Reid Hoffman. How about Pritzker, Tom Pritzker, the Zorro Ranch? Most people don't do a lot of research on what Epstein said when they put a camera in front of him, but I do.
The real enemy of the finance system was Bill Clinton. And if you ask me what and who caused the financial crisis, I would tell you it was Bill Clinton.
17 times to the White House. Bill in the hot tub, partying on the plane. Can't even trust the scumbags as you're stealing billions with them.
Because of what Bob Rubin and he did to the deregulate the financial system?
No. Because as the last time we had our 60-minute interview, you talked to me about home ownership. And you asked me whether everyone should own a home. And I told you, no, it's too risky.
So the financial collapse of 2008 is because of hardworking African Americans, Hispanics, and whites who wanted to have a ownership stake in the society that all rests on their shoulders. They're the culprits.
No, not at all.
Okay, then
I didn't say they were the culprits. I was pretty clear it was Bill Clinton.
Okay.
Why was it Bill Clinton? Because Bill Clinton wanted to get votes from those people. And
9% were delinquent. Collapsed the whole market. That's interesting. Boy, the more you look at it, the more you see how many people are in on it. We'll be back.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
You need to be tuning into the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, the radio companion to the Amazon best-selling book, Success Blueprint, How to Build the Retirement You Deserve. Each week, Michael shares strategies designed to help reduce market risk through income-generating investments that can provide steady returns. Because if you can avoid a big loss, you don't need to take big risks. Catch the Retirement Success Blueprint with Michael Stewart, Saturday mornings at 10, right here on AM 560 The Answer.
It's finally happening. The Fed is making a change in leadership, and that could have a profound impact on the value of your retirement. When interest rates go down, the value of precious metals like gold and silver can surge. Call Advantage Gold right now at 800-900-8000 and get your free Gold and Silver Investor Guide, a $49 value, plus a free copy of Ken Rogoff's insightful book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Inside, you'll get honest information about gold, silver, and other precious metals, so you can explore your options with clarity and confidence. Our specialists can help you open a new account or transfer funds from an existing IRA, tax and penalty-free. Markets can turn fast, but gold has maintained its value through every cycle, often holding strong when other assets falter and when the dollar weakens. Are you positioned? Don't miss this opportunity. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000. Results may vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Memorial Day deals are at the Home Depot, which means one thing. It's go time. So kick off your planting projects and fill your space with colorful blooms that will thrive in your area. Then protect your flower beds with savings on mulch. On special buy, 4 bags for $10. This Memorial Day, get your backyard ready for summer with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Pricing valid May 14th through May 27th. U.S. only, exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Capitalism has but one flaw. You know what that flaw is? You have to participate. If you do participate, odds are you've never voted Democrat. You understand exactly what right is versus wrong. And you've heard my next guest on everywhere from CNBC to BBC, CNN, Sky TV, Fox News. Scott the Cow Guy, Sexy Devil, will join me after Foxweiser.
Yes, they are still searching for a deal. I'm John Saucier, Fox News. President Trump today giving his latest assessment of what he feels is an imminent deal with Iran at a White House cabinet meeting. Fox's Colonel Scott has more.
The president said it's a conflict, not a war, and it's one where America holds the options.
They're negotiating on fumes. But we'll see what happens. Maybe we have to go back and finish it. Maybe we don't.
With Secretary of War Pete Hegseth sitting to his left, President Trump said the military is ready to re-engage, but he still feels a deal is close.
They are starting to give us the things that they have to give us, and if they do, that's great. And if they won't, then the man on my left is going to finish them off.
There are some in Congress, Republicans among them, who say reported details of Iran giving up uranium in exchange for sanctions relief too closely resembles the prior Iran deal. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
The efforts to contain the deadly and growing Ebola outbreak in Central Africa are picking up pace. Fox's Greg Polcon has more.
World Health Organization staffers are traveling to the eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo hit by the disease. The organization chief posting the outbreak is outpacing the response. And here is what Secretary of State Rubio said at today's cabinet meeting.
The number one priority of our foreign policy is to protect the American people. We cannot and will not allow any cases of Ebola to enter the United States.
To that end, the U.S. has been tightening travel restrictions on those leaving the affected area. And yes, it is reported the Trump administration is set to deploy U.S. health officials to neighboring Kenya to staff a quarantine and treatment facility for Americans testing positive for the disease or those potentially exposed, rather than bring them back to the States to be handled there.
The World Health Organization says the number of suspected cases of Ebola is nearing 1,000, along with over 200 deaths. America is listening to Fox News.
can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the roads, the outbound Edens has cleared up the Kennedy downtown out to O'Hare, a 30-minute trip. The express lane's still a bit snug, though, at Kimball. On the inbound Eisenhower, that accident at North Avenue being moved off to the side. It's an hour and 10 going in the reverse at 50 minutes. Stevenson out 35 to the Tri-State, 45 out to 355. Outbound Ryan, 20 minutes downtown to 95th Street. Road work on the outbound 40 making things tight from 115th down to 159th. Delays continue along DuSable Lakeshore Drive in the Tri-State either way, and still tight southbound 355, but it is improving. Traffic is a service of Woodland Windows and Doors. Marvin Replacement Windows and Doors can bring your backyard right into your living space, making it seem brighter and more spacious. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your consultation. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a steady breeze and a low of 55. Tomorrow, Thursday, will bring mostly sunny conditions with a pleasant breezy feel and temperatures not as warm, reaching a high of 72. Thursday night will be clear to partly cloudy with a low of 52. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
So many people are living every day with pain that they just think they're stuck with it. It is what it is, but it doesn't have to be. I want to tell you about a letter I got from Oregon, a guy named George, and his Relief Factor story. George, hardworking guy, spends 10 hours a day in a garbage truck. Tough job, made even tougher because he's dealing with a sore right knee that just wouldn't bend. But here's the amazing part. George started taking Relief Factor, and it changed his life. And he said in his letter to me, and I quote, "I can bend my knee again with very little pain." I can relate to George. There was a time when I wondered if I could continue working because my pain was so bad. If you're living with aches and pains, see how Relief Factor, a daily drug-free supplement, can help you feel and live better every day. Give their 3-week quick start a try, $19.95. A few weeks, even days, you'll feel the difference that Relief Factor can make in your life. You don't have to be stuck living with the pain. Visit ReliefFactor.com, ReliefFactor.com, 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800-4-RELIEF.
This is Hugh Hewitt for townhall.com. As we watch the president navigate the ongoing interactions with the remaining leadership in Iran, it's worth reminding ourselves President Trump has done hundreds of deals. He's also walked away from probably 3 times as many deals. The thousands of commentators with little to zero knowledge of the negotiations are just guessing. Here's what we actually know. First, President Trump has the crucial experience, and second, the D team in Iran doesn't. No president in 47 years has dealt Iran blows like this. President Trump isn't going to trade massive leverage for approval of states that aren't our allies. President Trump is very good at the close. He's not going to get taken. He's walked away from a lot of tables. If it's a bad deal or the Iranians do the bait and switch deal, he will walk away again, and I hope combat would resume. But right now, we just don't know. I just don't think the president is going to get fooled. I'm Hugh Hewitt.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
The billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars we save every day is just one of the benefits of having somebody who wasn't cultivated through corruption in the White House. The other is, in the real economy, the private economy, it is a boom town. Talk about markets. And it's only going to get better as we stand on the precipice of new innovations, the likes of which we can't even imagine. And yet, in Democrat areas, it's always 7-day rain, which is why you stay away from them. You definitely don't vote for them. My next guest exhibits all of the qualities of understanding how and when to get the hell out of Democrat areas, as he did it right before me. Scott, the cow guy, Shality, sexy as ever. How are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Well, I'm mad because, I was going to drive by and see what you were doing, but you know me. I got to beat the clock, the invisible clock of making good time. I'm a lunatic. I drove straight through. And going through Illinois, I jump on 57. I don't want to go next to Chicago, so I stay off of the Ghetto 500 there by the Eisenhower. I don't want to even go near it. So going through Illinois, I almost took a right because on 57 you could go to Cairo, whatever.
Yep.
That town that used to be a hub, it's completely abandoned. And you look at what's happened to these great areas, man. Whew. It is a cancer of corruption that has destroyed the entire states. And that's how it always is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've driven through that many a times because I go to speaking engagements in Nebraska and Iowa a lot, and that's the route that we have to take. And it's actually very sad.
Yes.
And you can't believe you're I think my first inclination was, is this the Cairo that I know about? Because you can't believe it to be the case, but it is the case, and it is sad. And but you know what? It's both sad, but it's not surprising.
Well, it's the same thing that's happened wherever this philosophy of socialism and communism, and it's almost refreshing, at least, with that simpleton who lived with his mother and father before he became the mayor in New York, to show you, listen, we're going to call it socialism, but we're stealing your franken property, all right? We're going to steal, and granted, the government in New York City owns more property than any single owner, and there are more complaints, and there's more chaos, and more delinquencies and repairs, but we're going to use this opportunity to steal property. That's the refreshing part. At least in 2026, they don't pretend to be Democrats or a political party, anything other than communists.
I think he's a lot smarter than he's letting on to believe, but that is an absolute, I used it on my show today too. And to say, he said, I think something along the lines of, look what's happened under no regulation. Now we're going to get government involved and they're going to fix everything. I can't imagine saying anything as stupid as that. And you're right. The city owns more than anybody else. And he doesn't put any qualifiers on anything. The people that break the law, what law do they break? How many times do they have to break it? What's the fine? I mean, and then, by the way, at the same time, he's upping minimum wage so the people that do own buildings aren't going to be able to have them serviced anymore. They can't have them fixed or cleaned anymore because the minimum wage is going to be $40 an hour.
But it spurs the people who are now faced with the reality, are you going to be John Galt? Are you going to stick up for yourself and your own success? Are you recognizing that you cannot coexist with communism any more today than you could 100 years ago? I personally think you couldn't have scripted the totalitarian fascism on top of failed Democrat policies any better than New York. Chicago's a close second, though.
Well, I mean, the problem is that the people that can move are going to move. They're the ones with all the money. The poor folks that don't have a lot of capital to move, they got to stay there. They're the ones that take the brunt. And what's going to happen? It's already happening in New Jersey and New York and parts of Illinois and in California. The capital that leaves is leaving behind the people that can ill afford to pay for all these things, and they're going to have to raise taxes on them all because they're losing all the people that pay all the tax.
Well, this is the serfdom that we were told. I used to say we're in the cul-de-sac. This is it. Your destination reached, especially in the areas that double down and continue to, they say elect, but let's just call it what it is. Continue to pretend that Democrats can reside over anything other than failure, ghettonomics, and corruption. This is that clear. So, I think this should be the mantra of the people who do not want to have ghettonomics affect their quality of life. If you want to live low, if you want to live in areas where your grandfather would laugh at you, then congratulations, continue to vote Democrat. You deserve it. The rest of us don't.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you like to ask Grok or Claude or ChatGPT what the out-migration is from Democratic states to in-migration of Republican ones? I mean, I think that'd be a pretty easy question to answer, and maybe I'm sure they're skewed already. There's some sort of bias in there. But, I mean, all you have to do is look at the numbers, and I don't understand how guys like Pritzker and Johnson can't look at the numbers and go, what we're doing is not working. We need to change course. They're not going to do that, and it's absolutely suicidal.
Brother, I mean, you and I worked our asses off. I know how hard you worked, and I know what you've done and what you've contributed to society. At least I have a window into it. I also am guessing you probably haven't blown $6,500 on a Brioni suit. But then again, you paid the water bill for your family. When you see the Wildings be pulled over, they just had one on the news. The guy lifts his arms up. He's got the Gucci belt on, the Louis Vuitton bags. The difference is we have allowed this idea that you could turn a blind eye to not just welfare and subsidies and corruption, but to criminality and pretend it's civilized, it's living. You can't anymore. I say roll with it. Just figure out, and we've got the perfect guy, to stop financing it from decent people. Because once you cut them off economically, now you really are going to get what you deserve, because they've been running financial frauds and scams and stealing money from Springfield to Chicago, and it's normal to them.
Yeah, and it's going to come home to roost. It definitely is. I mean, look, it's not an emotional problem anymore. It's not emotional at all. It's 100% down to the numbers, and the numbers they're going to bear fruit, and they're going to be the ones that bear the truth. You won't be able to tax people back to prosperity. The people that have the money for taxes are leaving, and you're going to be in one heck of a problem, because there's going to be no cash, and you got a lot of issues.
Well, one of the funny things too is when you drive through the country, you really start to see it in a very, very different light. And the minute you get out of these Democrat areas, and I go to this place called Martin's Barbecue in Alabama, all right?
Yeah.
It's
we got
absolutely,
one there, yeah.
right, and it's called Vestavia Hills, where this place is. It is awesome. I would move there tomorrow. And you want to know something? They try to attack any kind of recognition of the financial crimes and skullduggery as racism. And everybody's afraid. Oh, they're going to think you're Listen to me. I know what the makeup is of this area in Alabama where I would buy a house tomorrow. And you want to know what I see there? I don't care what color somebody is. It's the character of righteousness, the character of Americanism. I dropped something out of my car, a couple walking by. Guy goes, or the lady goes, "Sir, you dropped something out of your car." I should look back. I said, "Oh, well, thank you for telling me that." She goes, "Well, we're friendly here," because my car's got Florida plates. She goes, we're friendly here, and we figure you're driving through. I said, "Yeah, I'm coming from Chicago." And in Chicago, they would have not only stolen that item, not said anything. I probably would have ended up tied to a tree with my underwear in my mouth. And they started laughing. They said, no, we're far more civilized down here. And do you want to know something, Scott? They were not the blue-eyed white devils. They were just people of good character, and it was so refreshing to see how positive, how just upstanding everybody was the minute you got out of Illinois. It's really something that I don't think people who never leave there understand. The rest of the country is thriving, not just because the market's setting records, but the character of their fellow citizen is better.
It is, well, yeah, and I think that goes a long way to. They always are trying to put people in boxes and label them, right? And that's how the Democrats are. They love the labels of everybody in the box, and people for some reason flock to that. They get comfortable. But when I stand in line at Starbucks and I'm seventh in line, I just think I'm seventh in line. That's the way it is, man. But when a Democrat stands in line at Starbucks and they're seventh in line, they're like, "Oh, look, there's a gay guy, a black guy, a lesbian, a Jewish guy."
It's amazing.
They're labeling everybody up and down the line. I'm like, I don't care, and that's how it should be. Who cares? But for some reason, they have to bring it to the forefront and make you care about it when initially you wouldn't have thought twice.
And the answer doesn't have anything to do with anybody's opinions or judgments or isms other than success versus failure. Simple.
Yes. Merit.
Simple.
Merit.
The whole thing is simple. And to see the way in which we're being lectured to by some bust-out who couldn't pay the water bill for his family but now has a $6,500 suit on, tell me how to talk about the destruction of my city and not recognize the economic destruction to everybody, as you saw, as I saw, those Wildings destroying private property. Do you think when they were stomping on cars that people bust their ass for, breaking the windshields, destroying, they gave a rip if that was a black guy's car, a white guy's car, a Puerto Rican's car, or that it was just somebody else's car? When you see the destruction, how low they accepted it, NBC News ran it. Well, here, did you hear the cut of NBC News and how they talked about what we saw run through Chicago? Did you see it at all?
They got a lot of bad press down here, Chicago, and those what I don't even call the team takeovers. They got a lot of bad press down here. It was on all the major news networks on the weekend for sure. Yeah.
So listen to this, because you got to play it on your show for the people who don't understand how the destruction of a city is cheered on by what is called media.
It's great to be with you. Thank you so much for joining us at 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Stephen Holt.
I'm Allison Rosati. We're coming off a Memorial holiday weekend with a statistic Chicago has not seen in years. 0 homicides recorded. That's according to Chicago police.
Some encouraging statistics there, but there's still a concerning trend as we head into the summer. There were 2 teen takeovers over the holiday weekend, and one of
0 deaths, which is a lie. 1 person died, but 39 were shot, and the tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars of destruction of property under these so-called teen takeovers. And still you're going to be lectured to by a political whore of what to call it. It's insanity. It's third world. It's ghetto living. So I figured we'd come up with a new term. I call it ghetto pageantry. Pick your winner. After all, you're paying $33,000 a head for school. Let's call it a pageant. That's a ghetto pageant from now on. Don't you think that should smooth over any hard feelings?
I mean, I'm in media now. I sit in front of a camera. If those people, when they read that stuff, have to say to themselves, they have to cringe on the inside. There's no way you could not. I mean, you have to cringe. And you know what? I mean, isn't that amazing? There was a funnier Babylon Bee over the weekend saying, everybody died in Chicago this weekend from being shot. I mean, it was like totally true. I mean, look, I'm shocked at the behavior and how he's turning the other cheek. I can't believe it. I can't believe there's no consequence, but I can at the same time. There's nothing. They're not going to stop. And by the way, I mean, what is he putting forward to kind of round this up? Is he standing down the cops?
Oh, it's a 5-year plan. It's like the Soviets. We got a 5-year plan, and what we need is to turn a blind eye to right now. Right now, there's $50 million that has gone in the wind, I think, in the last couple of months to violence interference groups. Boy, you guys aren't worth the money, huh? And it's just one scam after the next scam.
Can you imagine if they gave us $50 million to stop that? We'd do it, and we'd spend $1 million to stop it and keep 49 amongst ourselves. I mean, that's all it would take. I mean,
I'll get a couple of the Hearst rats from Melrose Park. You get them for about $2,000. Right. They'll straighten it out right away.
Right. I mean, how much money? $50 million? Are you kidding me? I'll do it for 45. All right. I'll just let them know. They can save $5 million. But it's insane.
It was Jeff Fort that got the first $1 million for another scam, right? Wasn't it him? Am I saying his name right? That's a stepbrother of what's his name? They pay the gangbangers to pretend you're not gangbangers anymore. Love that.
Well, that's the Southern Poverty Law Center too. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, nothing shocks me anymore. But this is crazy to think that it's going to be whose fault is it when we let this happen? I mean, they just never want to take accountability for anything. It's always somebody else's fault. I can't stand it. Nobody stands up and holds their hand and says, the buck stops here. And that's going to be a problem. I think that's going to be their ultimate downfall, because at some point in time between now and when I die, and hopefully that's 20, 25 years, I think that you're going to see a lot of people move to the southeast and the southwest, or Arizona, New Mexico. And I think that you'll see all those northern states just start to really crumble, because I don't know what they're going to do to keep people to stick around.
Well, they're crumbling, and now it's just about who's going to finance it all. And this is the other aspect I love. And it starts with, if you're going to continue to spend everybody's money for illegals, we're not going to send you money. And quietly, some of the changes both J.D. Vance and Trump have made, I think is really going to be just the beginning. I mean, after all, we still have 3 years left, and it's only going to get better if you can just stop the steal. And make people understand that $50 million that Chicagoans spent, it's gone. It's in the wind. They don't have the $50 million. They're borrowing it from the future, from corrupt banksters, and they're hoping that Springfield bails it out. And there's a movement. I interviewed a couple of people about this secession movement in just Illinois, people that don't move or can't move, how they want to secede. And I think Trump is going to give way to and start to understand these counties in bad states that are voting for secession. Donald Trump could rewrite the American map by redesigning the way the state maps operate. I think he needs to move forward with this before the midterms, because I don't know if you saw it on CNN. His popularity is actually growing, much to not just chagrin the lies that is coming out of the left media. I say keep your foot on the gas.
I think I'm not as worried about high gas prices as it was. I still think it's a problem. He needs to see those things come down. But as long as we see him going in the right direction, I think he's got a lot of things going his way. Obviously, the stock market, but that's going to be only good for the upper 20 to 30% of incomes. But I also do think that he has gotten a lot of people on his side, especially like the guys I know in England. There's a big faction of people that love Trump in England, and they're probably going to get that Nigel Farage in as a prime minister in the next couple of years. That because he's just like Trump, because they're standing up to the ridiculously of it all. And so, where does one begin? I mean, you're going to see, Shaun, at some point in time, the destruction of New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Michigan, Minnesota, California, Oregon, Washington, all those liberal places. They will not be able to stand on their own anymore. And you're right. They're going to try to tax the country for it. But there's people that are going to be getting angry. I mean, I still can't believe that they let all those illegal immigrants come into those cities and said, we're going to use your tax dollars to let these people stay here. Now, I'm sure I told you the story, but it's worth mentioning again. When I was young behind the ears, 1989, never been out of the country. I go to London for my job to trade on the floors there in the financial capital of the world. And I get to the passport control, Shaun, and the guy stamps my passport. He says, okay, son, where are you staying? And I told him, he says, all right, when you find a permanent residency, you need to go to your local police station to register as a foreigner. I said, okay. And I walk away. He goes, come back here, son. So I came back. He said, do you know why I did that? I said, no, I'm just trying to be agreeable, sir. I don't want to get any trouble. I'm just a young kid. He said, I'm doing that because we don't want people like you coming in to our country and taking something out of a system that you didn't put anything into. Bottom line. I'll never forget that.
He was rabid anti-Dutch. And here's the other thing. To quote the most underrated and my favorite actor in Rocky 3, there is no tomorrow, Rock. The destruction is now. This is real life, real time. You could have these morons like Ellison Rosati, which, by the way, I think she's lobbying to start shopping with you. If you haven't seen her, salad is the one word that comes to mind.
By now, I think my underwear might be tied on her.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. But when you look at the way in which they're trying to sell this, and in the same vein, they have to report these massive buildings in the Loop are losing 75, 84%. The real collapse is now. It's just they haven't figured out how to stop the funding of it from all the strangers throughout Illinois, but more importantly, throughout the country. And Trump did by using the very thing you said. If you cannot understand, you do not spend billions of dollars on people who came here under a criminal act to promote future criminal acts, then we're just going to not endorse you. We're going to not refund you, because the whole thing works on a scheme where they spend money they don't have and hope that the federal government reimburse them. The reimbursements are done. Did we catch you stealing? Now there is no soup for you. This is only the beginning. I think they're playing nice because of this midterm bull dung. I say shut the spigot off now and really see the separation. Because when you talked about gas and the cost of it, the minute you pop out of Illinois, it drops $1.10. $1.10 the minute you drop out. And if you go in Chicago, they're still paying over $5. Indiana, it's $3.80. I couldn't believe how low it got. The further south I got, the lower the gas prices were. So understand, these are Pritzker taxes. Has nothing to do with Trump. Those are Pritzker Democrat rat taxes because they extort every level of distribution of energy, and they always will.
Well, they've got a limited timeline, and they're not going to change, so that's good. Unfortunately, there's going to be some collateral damage, and it's the poor folks that live there and can't leave.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely undeniable. And that's what you need, right? We're talking to people who keep pretending that they're running some sort of a functioning government versus a financial crime. And these are financial.
Yeah, horrible.
And you look at the taxes. Really, it's criminal. You tax every level of production of energy, and then you give monopolies to corrupt companies like ComEd, who get caught working scams with the big, powerful Democrats, and nothing happens. Trump's just the guy you need. You break apart the states from inside. Let the 33 counties go in Illinois. Let the 16 counties in Oregon, the rest in California. Rewrite the American map, and shrink the power control over the Democrat mafia. Because if you think you're going to do it through fixing gerrymandering, they love to steal it. They've been stealing it for half a century. Fix it by changing the American map. It's never been done. It's about time.
Well, once we get gas prices going in the right direction, they don't have to go back to where they were. We just people need to see progress. That's going to go a long way, number one. Number two is I think a lot of those maps really are going to favor they favor the Republicans by 17 versus 6 for the Democrats. So that's a net 11 member swing if we get it. So that'd be 22 total swing. I think that because the Democrats are just so incompetent, they're not going to be able to put together a message and not to be able to put together something for the midterms, that Trump's going to have done something very good with the Middle East. He's taken a bad actor off the stage. He's got oil prices going back down. We're going to be hitting all-time record highs in the stock market, and the gerrymandering thing is going to come around and bite the Democrats in the you-know-what. I think he's got a much better chance than people think.
So I'm driving back for the golf outing, but I'll be driving more and more because I like it. I really do. And one of these days I'm going to take a turn by you, but I'm going to bet. I got to bet like the old days. And we don't have to go to a strip joint like the old days, but we're just going to bet. I bet you dinner, Republicans, big win. I'm taking big win by the Republicans in the midterm. Would you like the field?
No, I'm more with you, but I'll take the field just for the bet to see what happens.
Yeah, just because you want to see who quivers when the check comes. I like the way you think there, Shallity. RFD TV every day. Scott the Cow Guy or Cow Guy Clothes. Thank you so much for making time for me, brother.
All right, brother. See you.
Thank you. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, AM 560 listeners. Jeff checking in again from JeffBuysYourHouse.com. What I learned serving our great nation in the military is that every mission is unique and success starts with listening. For nearly 20 years, our veteran-led house buying team has taken the time to understand what matters most to each homeowner we serve. Every home has a story, and every seller has different needs. Whether you want a quick closing or need extra time to find your next place, we customize our approach around what works best for you. That's how we've earned hundreds of 5-star Google reviews and an A+ rating with the BBB, by putting relationships first. No repairs needed, no cleanout required, and you pick the closing date that works best for your schedule. At JeffBuysYourHouse.com, we're here to help you through the entire transition, not just the transaction. Are you ready to work with a local team that takes the time to understand your home selling needs? Sell your house to the trusted source by calling us today at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or JeffBuysYourHouse.com.
Have you been watching gold and silver lately? Hard to ignore. Back in January of 2025, silver was under $30 an ounce, and now it's more than doubled. Again, not bad, right? Some experts say this bull market is just getting started. Others say it's a good time to take some money off the table. Either way, whether you're buying or selling, Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is the place to go. They stock large quantities of all the major bullion coins and bars. And here's what sets them apart. Unlike places that only pay melt value, Fox Valley Coins pays more for high-grade coins and scarcer dates. That's real money left in your pocket. They also buy scrap sterling flatware, jewelry, silver-plated items, and old proof sets. And they specialize in U.S. and foreign collector and investment coins and currency, both buying and selling. Fox Valley Coins, one light north of I-88 on Route 59 at Ferry Road in Naperville. Family-owned with integrity since 1981.
President Trump has triggered a $200 billion tech disruption, and Wall Street is asleep at the switch. This $200 billion investment in chip technology could make today's artificial intelligence chips obsolete. Technology that will make today's AI data centers a thing of the past, like IBM's old mainframes. While most investors are focused on old-fashioned AI, there are 3 companies quietly building a $1 trillion triangle that could transform every tech sector on Earth. These 3 companies are gearing up to develop and manufacture supercomputers the size of a dinner plate. Institutions like Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street are pouring more than $200 billion into this AI revolution. Investment guru George Gilder has been predicting tech revolutions for more than 40 years, including the iPhone, Netflix, and Amazon. Now he's got his finger on 3 companies whose technology will change tech forever. Log on to TrillionDollarTriangle.com to find out which 3 companies are working on what could be the biggest tech disruption since the internet. TrillionDollarTriangle.com. That's TrillionDollarTriangle.com.
AutoWarranty.com. This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-342-0393 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-342-0393. That's 800-342-0393. What do you have to lose? Call 800-342-0393. Again, 800-342-0393.
It's almost time once again for the annual AM 560 Golf Outing, presented by Signature Bank. AM 560 is proud to partner with the Tunnel to Towers Foundation to help them support America's first responder and military heroes, to help America never forget 9/11. This year, our golf outing is happening on Monday, June 15th at McRae Memorial Golf Club in Barrington. When you purchase a foursome to join us, you'll enjoy a full day of golf, meals, an awards reception, and a silent auction. And if you're a business owner, when you purchase a foursome, you'll also receive an AM 560 marketing campaign, which includes 25 one-minute commercials to air on AM 560 Monday through Friday between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. and a free digital marketing analysis. Reserve your foursome today at 560theanswer.com/golf. That's 560theanswer.com/golf. Sponsored in part by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Nolan Webster and by real estate broker Ed Dream at leavingil.com.
I know when I read these commercials, Tom Fortino is not smiling because I'm reading the commercials. He's not smiling because the market is making new highs. He's smiling because more and more people understand you do not have to sit on the sidelines. You can profit too. That's the beauty of America. Tom Fortino and Alpha Wealth Group has been helping people do this for decades, 3 of them. For 30 years, Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group have been bringing retirement dreams to regular Americans who are not in on scams, who don't have mystical, magical agreements with Democrats. As long as they and their family vote Democrat, they'll get some payout called a pension. He's smiling because everybody can be successful in this country because we're the country of innovation, of private economy, of the stock market, of the futures market. And you can take advantage of it by simply making a phone call. It's not one thing or the other. It's all things. This is just the beginning of winning. Call 630-864-6711. That number again, 630-864-6711. Or online at alphawealthgroup.com if you care to participate in the economy. That's the only flaw with capitalism. You have to do something. You have to be in the forefront. You have to understand or at least know somebody who does. That's Tom Fortino. All the people at Alpha Wealth Group understand fundamental economics, and they understand this is just the beginning. Offset the cost of political corruption, of green energy trillion-dollar scams. Offset it by investing with somebody who understands what a private economy is. Tom Fortino, 630-864-6711, or online, alphawealthgroup.com. Don't forget Saturday mornings, right here on AM 560 The Answer, 9 a.m., the Alpha Wealth Group Hour. You can hear the conversation of fundamental economics, the beauty of Americanism and capitalism, right here, AM 560 The Answer. When we get back, Gary and Bridgeview, you'll lead us off. 312-642-5600 if you care to participate after Mike Scott in the news.
Good evening, Shaun. In our QC Kinetics newsroom, our forecast shows a partly cloudy night with a low of 55. Florida's new congressional district map will stay on the books for now. Here's Fox's Eben Brown in Miami.
In the ongoing state-by-state political redistricting battles, Florida's new map is intended to limit Democrats to 4 of the state's 28 seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. The map's critics complained it violated a state constitutional provision against political gerrymandering. The judge ruled they didn't prove their claim and that it was too late to make changes with a primary scheduled in 3 months' time.
A heavy police presence reported in Oak Forest Wednesday. The city says it's part of a planned operation. A spokesperson with the FBI said the agency is engaged in court-authorized law enforcement activity in the area. A gas leak shut down roadways around Chicago Executive Airport in Wheeling for hours today. According to Wheeling Public Safety and the fire department, the gas leak was in the area of Milwaukee Avenue and Hintz Road. Cubs and Pirates tonight, White Sox and Twins, the Bears at Hallis Hall, and the News, a service of America 250. Your next news is at 7. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. Now with a check of the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center, here is Jill Urchak.
Here is the final check of the roads. Eastbound 80, the accident at Maple is gone. Still somewhat of a residual delay in that area. As for the tollways, the Tri-State much better. Scattered delays north and south. Jane Addams and Reagan both look good, and southbound 355 remains stop and go. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, although better, still tight either way. The Kennedy going out to O'Hare, that is a 25-minute trip, and the Eisenhower going out 45 minutes. Post Office to 390 and getting better. Inbound side Crescent North off to the side. Stevenson, 35 minutes to DuSable Lakeshore Drive to 355, and the outbound Ryan, 18 minutes to get out to 95th. This report is the service of the AM 560 store. Order t-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands, including Prop University and The Shaun Thompson Show, when you go to 560theanswer.com/store. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect partly cloudy skies with a steady breeze and a low temperature of 55. Moving into Thursday, it'll be mostly sunny with a pleasant breeze, not as warm as before, and a high of 72. Thursday night will bring clear to partly cloudy conditions with a low of 52. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
You know what really keeps me up at night? It's the criminals feel more and more bold. They have no fear of any consequences because there are none. So I did what anyone with a family should do. I called Goldilocks. They're not just some cookie-cutter security company. Goldilocks has been protecting Chicagoland homes and businesses for 4 decades, 40 years. And they actually listen. Their technician comes out to the house. He takes a look at what you need to make your house a smart home with a security system you can monitor from anywhere. It's built specifically for me and my family. Motion sensors, smart locks, cameras, monitoring, all customized. I don't trust anybody in Illinois to protect my family. I do it, and I did it by calling Goldilocks. I trust Goldilocks to keep my house, my property, and my family safe. Tell them Shaun Thompson sent you, and Goldilocks will include 3 months free monitoring with any new installation. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Or visit them online at GoldilocksInc.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-573-4400. That's 800-573-4400. Again, that's 800-573-4400.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds, and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you, with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou, because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds too. Get a quote right now at 800-555-2085, 800-555-2085, or biglou.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Inherited a coin collection? Sell to global bidders for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
I'm going to let this one breathe. I like it. Did you know, Squirrel, that inflation, since Barack Obama has been elected in this country, is 55.23%? Since Barack Obama was late on his Chrysler 300, also known as the Ghetto Bentley. Huh.
I think the man has dementia. Someone who's suffering from dementia, I mean, they genuinely need help. And there's no one around him who wants to help him. All those people are just sycophants.
And Joan Shingang, I'm going to pronounce it, Shanga Kawawa.
Until Trump speaks an entire sentence without a word, shut your fat ass up. Gary, Bridgeview.
Hey, Shaun. Thanks for everything you do, and thanks for being a voice that excites me. And when I hear Succession, I wouldn't get too excited. But when I hear change the American map, that excites me. And I think we're talking one and the same, right? I mean, yes. Is that when you okay? So while I was waiting, I'm like, can that be done? I went to a mapping program while I was waiting, and I scrolled down to the south, and it's already started. This mapping program says the Gulf of America. So we have started to change the American map. Let's keep going.
And think about it, Gary, from the East Coast to the West Coast, all of the decent people trapped in indecent governance, all of them, all in the ways in which, they talk about gerrymandering. Who did it? It's been done for since the beginning of the country. And they nullify all the decent people. You have 6 counties in Illinois that control the entire political body. Not one decent representative, a Republican. Get the hell out of here. Right. Let the 33 counties who voted just change it. Now you're Indiana. Who better to do it than Donald Trump? You want to talk about breaking things. Right. The real estate guy who bribed the Democrats. I know who they are, and they're worse than you think. This is a very exciting time, brother, to be alive. Don't let the malaise of being trapped in Illinois win. I appreciate the call, Gary, very much. You stay strong.
Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you, brother. Greg LaGrange.
Hey, Shaun. I'll bring a little bit of reality to the discussion.
All right.
First of all.
So you say. Go ahead.
So I say. The rules according to Greg. Okay, so I think one of the things is the president definitely has to get an end to the Iranian crisis, and he has to tackle inflation. How's he going to do that? They're going to raise rates, Fed fund rate, increase reserve requirements, and start selling those treasuries.
So all right. Wait. You're going to put some money in your pocket if you're right. I'm going to take this action all day long.
Now, wait a minute. Now, we know that when you raise interest rates, we're going to pay more on the national debt, right? But you have to give somebody an incentive, other nations, to buy that national debt. And that's where you start turning policy around and you start building out energy, more electrical, more nuclear. Give somebody in another country something to invest in, and they'll take on that debt. They'll help alleviate what we have.
Now, I love the fact. Well, wait a minute. Let's just put a pin in that. I love the fact that you and I get this. Listen, this is how you're taught things through books that have been bastardized about reality. Not only are they not going to raise rates, they're going to cut rates. I'll bet you a steak dinner on me next time I come back in. Steak dinner on me. We'll even go to Tom's Steakhouse, see if any of the old gangsters I used to slap around are there. Deal? All right. So here's what you got to understand. You're regurgitating the academic textbooks that write about a Fabian economy versus then the reality of what will happen. There is only one way, well, there are two ways, to pay off the national debt. Two ways. You must cut everything, taxes, everything, and make more private sector economies be able to make private sector money. Because, Greg, the reason that the debt is there is because of the financial swindle of Barack Obama, who pretended he could nationalize things. So you're not going to fix it the old way of what you're talking. You're dead wrong. So it's a bet for a steak dinner. Deal?
A bet for something. Here, listen.
Get the hell out of here, tightwad. Steak dinner, medium rare, potato, the dressing on the salad. We go nuts with appetizers. Get out of here.
The other thing is, here's one last point.
Tightwad.
A friend of mine, much smarter than me, came up with a brilliant answer, a brilliant comment. Why are we worried about what D.C. is going to? They're going to make D.C. a state. They're going to make D.C. a state. They're going to make D.C. a state.
Don't worry about that garbage.
You know what Donald Trump should do? You know what our president should do? He should have one of the states absorb D.C. right now and take that little piece off the chessboard. I'll bet you. You know what? I'll bet you a food for the poor donation. How about that?
All right, I'll throw that in. But I want food for the fat guy donation. I'm not bringing Scott Shallity. We'll really put a hurting on your savings account. I'm talking me, baby. I don't eat that much, but it is fine food. No, prime steak. Yeah, you're in. The men bet. You're in the tall grass now. You pee like a big dog. Bet stands. See, Squirrel? Because what they don't understand is he rewrote the most important exportation of the most important economy in the universe. We are the new exporter of black gold. 312-642-5600.
Call Shaun now. 312-642-5600.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank, a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Anthony and John here from Bionic Auto Parts, proud clients of Signature Bank. We deliver high-quality, recycled, and remanufactured auto parts to Chicago and Milwaukee. Our mission is simple: provide parts safely, reliably, with great customer satisfaction.
We process over 350 vehicles a month. With big banks, everything took forever. Layers of approvals and endless delays. At Signature Bank, one call got it done. Whether it's lending, deposits, or treasury management, they deliver fast. Signature Bank made us feel like family. That's a partnership we deeply appreciate.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Want to learn how Signature Bank can help turn your business vision into reality? Call Signature Bank at 773-467-5600 or visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, this is Shaun Thompson. You know, most of us spend our entire lives in the paycheck mode. You work, you get 30% taken from the G, you pay your bills, repeat and rinse. And that's how time goes by. Then all of a sudden you're old. Retirement hits. Suddenly, you're the one who has to figure out your paycheck that isn't there anymore. Markets are bumpy, prices are up, things can get stressful real fast. That's why having a real income plan matters. Tom Fortino and the team at Alpha Wealth Group can help you build a strategy to turn your hard-earned savings into a reliable retirement income. They coordinate with your Social Security and your tax planning so you can stop wondering if you're withdrawing the right amount at the right time. Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group have been doing this for 30 years. They can help you by giving you a complimentary retirement roadmap. And all you have to do is call 630-864-6711. That's 630-864-6711 or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
Now that spring is here, it's time for some spring home maintenance.
That's cold!
Hot water issues? Call CenterGuard Plumbing. Right now, get a new 40-gallon atmospheric vent water heater installed for just $1,295 standard installation, or a 50-gallon for $1,395 standard installation with free haul away of your old tank. A proud sponsor of AM 560, you'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on tankless and atmospheric vent water heaters with CenterGuard Plumbing. Plus, get 10% off any licensed plumbing contractor competitor's price. CenterGuard Plumbing is Chicagoland's same-day water heater experts. Call before noon, and they can schedule your repair or install the same day on in-stock water heaters. You're only a text away from install today. Call 847-406-8883. Mention AM 560 to receive spring special pricing. That's 847-406-8883. Call or text 847-406-8883 or visit centerguardplumbing.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Boy, got real tight when we started about paying the tab. You know what pressure is, Squirrel? Pressure is being a clerk, making a good amount of money, and almost having to pay a check for a Christmas party of a bunch of savages from the Mercantile Exchange at Ruth's Chris. When you got about $800 to your name, you're flipping a quarter for a $4,000 tab. That's pressure, Squirrel. You never waver. Never. Unless you're a Democrat, then that's all you do is waver and blame other people.
Over $1,300 billion.
I'm just checking. It's Trump that supposedly has dementia, right?
We just have to get up. As long as we keep the faith, summon hope, and get back up and remember who in the hell we are. We're the United States of America. That's who we are. We're the U.S. And there's nothing.
You stupid son of a gun. Everybody in the country knew what he was.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
F you. Exactly. I'm with that guy. And I'm with this guy.
What are your thoughts? Why do you think that Joe Biden is trying to sue this Department of Justice, former President Joe Biden, to have his tapes that he did interviews on blocked from the American people hearing them? Do you think that he's trying to hide something? And maybe Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche could comment on if they will countersue and release those tapes to the American public.
Are you talking about it with respect to his book?
With respect to
I'd like to see it. I don't know. Maybe there's some constitutional reason. I don't know. I would like to see what he has to say, because we can never allow what happened to this country to happen. The man was grossly incompetent, and the Democrats, I call them the Democrats because the policy is so bad, but they came very close to destroying our country. We can never let it happen again, and I hope that you're able to produce that. I think it would be very interesting reading for people.
Mr. President, Iran wants control of the Strait of Hormuz. Would you accept a short-term deal that allows Iran and Oman to control the strait? And would they have to open it immediately, or would you be open to that happening over a period of time?
No, the strait's going to be open to everybody.
And who would control it?
It's international waters. Nobody's going to control it. We're going to watch over it. We'll watch over it, but nobody's going to control it. That's part of the negotiation that we have. They would like to control it. Nobody's going to control it. It's international waters, and Oman will behave just like everybody else, so we'll have to blow them up. They understand that. They'll be fine.
Mr. President, thank you. How much economic pressure do you feel to get the Strait of Hormuz open?
Well, you have to understand, the United States has so much oil that we are an exporter of oil. So we have plenty of oil. We're very lucky. We're blessed with the greatest piece of land in the world from that standpoint, and we have more than anybody else. And now when you add Venezuela to it, we have, I think, 64% of the world's oil. And we're getting along very well with Venezuela, by the way. It's being run really beautiful.
Or we'll kill them. And we are the net exports. We're the new Middle East. And who's going to want to buy that garbage oil? It turns out, I just learned from the lovely Honey Bunny, We Got Nothing News, tweeted, alderperson, you mean ugly broad. Ugly broad! City of Waukegan alderwoman was charged with sending a mail-in ballot on behalf of her dead mother. Well, she was going to vote Democrat one way or the next. That's how the Democrats have elections. That's how they got in office. That's how they got Koala in office. And that's what they thought was going to happen with Trump. But it was too big to rig.
And Joan, Shingang, I'm going to pronounce it.
Shut the hell up. Dirty pants.
I think there's this myth that's going on right now that, Trump is really losing support among Republicans. But compared to other midterm cycles, he's just as popular with Republicans as he has ever been at this point in midterm cycles. Right now, nationally, we're talking about an approval rating on average of 80.
If Allison Rosati says it, or any other Mockingbird media moron in Chicago, just remember they don't have salads at the buffet. And they're lying! Winning outside Democrat hellholes. Boy, this was a fast show tonight, huh, Squirrel? We'll be back in 21.
Fight or flight? In Illinois, you've got both options.